Welcome to LXC.
Down in the rift again, where champions ascend. Warden League lights the night.
They are fighting 3v4. The freeze is stun. There's just too many people here. She uses it now, but Cassante is here. What are you going to wait for? The ult in means that Kai'Sa has the flash. Kane doesn't have a W though, has the flash. The Jax gets stuns on two. Vi is not able to do anything anymore for these tower shots to do anything. They are ramping up, so Emery's will go down and Emery is starting. Ult is not very good. They actually stole it with the Nidalee, and it's too low to commit. We win the dragon. They win.
Rising up, we'll take the floor. Strategies and tactics play. Skill and teamwork pave the way. Ward the brush, control the lane. In this wild domain. When the pressure makes us break. Diamond hearts.
Welcome back, everybody, to LXC's week 2 of the Warden games. We got Contingent Esports Orange in their first matchup against Seneca Esports. And honestly, looking at these teams, OP.GG's, I'm a little excited. You know, I mean, we got skills all around the board. But I'm just wondering to see how Contingent does in their first week, their first game. Honestly, brand new. What are you thinking? I mean, like, have you looked at the OP.GG's at all? Gotten a chance to? I mean.
Yeah, I got a chance to, and I feel like this can be a very interesting match because this seems to be like Diamond Master Elo, so that's a good level that we can talk about, right? Respectively speaking, when we talk about the ranks. So I'm definitely excited to jump into this game, and I'm hoping to see more strategies, as this is like the dreamland for a lot of players, right? Reaching the diamonds, reaching the masters. So I'm looking forward to this match, and hopefully we see some interesting picks as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm seeing, like, I mean, looking at the OP.GG's, I'm seeing, like, I mean, from the side of Seneca, like, we're seeing Zeds, we're seeing the Silas's, a lot of scrappy mid laners, you know, somebody that wants that 100 to 0 you really, really quick. And I mean, while Zed did just get a buff, I always feel like he has kind of like a weird place in competitive. I mean, like, you know, it's like, I feel like he's like one of those solo queue champions, if you get what I'm saying, like the Shakos of the world. You know, where it's like he thrives in chaos, while control mages in the game that have so much utility, like, are just so suited for like the pro scene, the competitive scene. So I'm wondering if he'll pull out the Zed today. Like, I mean, it's definitely possible. But looking at like the rosters, it like each team has one Masters player on their team, and for one side it's the jungle, and the other side it's, I believe, that their top lane or their bot laner, their AD carry. So I mean, in accordance to like having where your master player, like the positions wise, which team do you think has an edge, like the jungle or the bot lane? I mean, having their best player.
I think because I'm jungling as well, right? And jungling in Master Elo is very, very different than jungling from Diamond Elo, because it's most about tempo, right? And tempo is just a word for I can be here while I know you can't be there. So if you have tempo advantage, you will have people coming into you, running into you, which is always an advantage when you play a league, no matter what composition you play. So I think I would, like, if I just have to speak about my feelings, I would say the jungle, having a higher jungle has more upsides than having an AD carry, because AD carry is a very much team reliant role, and you need to kind of orchestrate your team around you to be able to be like the difference maker in the team fights. Because at the end of the day, if you have a Nautilus R on your face and you have, like, I don't know, like an assassin jump on top of your face, you will just die, right? There's not, the Elo doesn't make a difference in flash times, right? But you still die at the end. So, and having the more coordination, and especially in competitive, in like 5-on-5 games, jungle is not the role that it's in solo queue, where you can just do what you want, or like you kind of do stuff that you should be doing. However, in jungle, most of the times these are leadership positions. Jungle and support are traditionally leadership positions, so having someone who's more experienced can lead to that. However, I don't want to jump to conclusions right here. This is just something that can happen. I think both teams have a good chance of taking this game. So that's what I'm excited to see.
100%. I mean, you talk about like the leadership positions, the jungle, the support. I mean, on the side with the master jungler, we have life support Will, like, and like a gold for support player. You know what I mean? So maybe we might see some different calls. I mean, different elos have like a different like calls they feel are like their priorities. So I'm wondering how like they're gonna match up to get like mesh together. When it comes to, are they gonna let the jungler take the full lead when it comes to
Mhm.
shot calling because he is that Masters player, or support still going to be able to take the reins a little bit, especially when it's coming to roams. Like seeing support, is support going to roam, or is he going to stick close to their AD carry, try to keep them stable? I mean, a lot of tank AD like supports right now are just very, very good. I'm seeing that he plays like the sets, the Nautilus. You know what I mean? Those type of supports like to roam. They like to scrap as much as they can, use their CC to kind of affect other lanes, besides just bot lane.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think that's a good thing because, like, if you, there's always this dynamic of how you want to play the game in the sense of, like, okay, you want to have, currently, if we're talking like pure meta, we have the AP junglers or we have tanks, and then we have tanks with in combination with double or even triple AD carry. If some of people have watched LEC, some LPL, you saw like Kalista top having the Tristana mid and the Ezreal bot, and then having two tanks around it. So that's a way that you can go. And the other way is like you have an AP jungler with AD mid. So having an AP jungler and then having the engage support makes a lot of sense. And it's like super easy to play the game because you have the CC and then you have someone who brings the damage. And especially in the mid game, jungle and support are these axes that are walking around the map. So having this champion pool makes a lot of sense. And that is a good thing already because you don't want to have, like, for example, Zyra and then a Lulu. This is something that you don't want to see on the screen because it's thematically anti-synergy.
mhm.
But yeah, I think we about to get in draft soon.
Yeah, I am trying to load into the draft. Unfortunately, so I'm getting in. Oh, okay. Okay, that would be good. Um, no, but I mean, so we're seeing a little bit. We got two jungle bans on the side of Contingent. They're banning that Briar out, that Fiddlesticks, an AP jungler that we were talking about a little earlier on, just a couple seconds ago, actually. And on the other side, we have two support bans with the Lulu and the Leona, two different types of supports, one denying engage and one that wants to go in. So I mean, trying to cover their bases, on the side of Seneca, trying to like make their support very uncomfortable. I kind of like the direction you're both going in, and then the Silas ban, one of those mids I was talking about, one of those scrappy mid laners, kind of trying to Silas a little more reliable in pro play. I feel instead of the Zed. I mean, definitely, I kind of like that ban over it. I mean, he's very flexible, can be playing the jungle, sometimes support and solo queue, but I don't think that was gonna happen. Seneca with the first pick, Kaisa here. I really like the Kaisa. I feel like she's just like sleeper OP sometimes. Like people, she gets kind of buried around under like the Jinxes, the Kates, the Ezreals, right? Kaisa, any type of CC, Kaisa is going in and could potentially just one shot the enemy AD carry. And I
And
like, yeah,
And there's also the point of this could be a double flex, right? It could go into mid lane, it could be go on the bot lane, into bot lane if you're speaking about what could happen, right? And there's also, to dive a little bit on the bans, I'm not sure if they missed the first ban. However,
yeah,
like Leona is like a good pick into set. Lulu is also a decent pick into set because you can W and polymorph the set. So
mhm,
this is just something that you have to keep in mind. And now we're seeing Ezreal, which is a decent matchup into Kai'Sa. It just prefers, like, it depends on what supports you kind of have. So
yeah,
I'm looking for, like, traditionally you would now draft a jungler and
mhm,
then you don't show your hands. So this is what a Zyra comes in. So we have the Azul Zyra already. I don't think Zyra will go into support because Zyra is just too strong to have her in support right now. So
yeah,
I think it's 100% a jungler. So on the side of Seneca, now you have the options to answer with jungle and support, and you blind picks the support. And I think Nautilus is a good choice because you just have the Kaiser Nautilus and you can just nuke someone, and whoever steps into your range is a good choice. And the other thing is, like, what do you want to have? Then
and the
is either
Nautilus is
Nautilus.
picked. Yes,
And then I think it just depends on what you want to go for. Do you want to play like the double ADC with frontline? Then you could go Sejuani. If you want to match the tempo of Zyra, then you would go into something like AP jungler. So that's why
yeah.
my expectations. This is what I want to see here.
No, I mean, I have been seeing the prevalence of Shyvana. I mean, I couldn't. Both junglers do play the Shyvana a little bit. So I mean, Shyvana Vi is also really good to get on top of that Ezreal. Being able to just unstoppable R on Ezreal, even if he blinks away, he's not gonna get very far. I mean, Nautilus R, Vi R on one target, like that. no, you're dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in a team fight. I mean, they can just dive right through the whole entire team. It doesn't matter. So
And right now, Seneca already drafted themselves a pick comp, right? You find
Yes.
one target, you kill that target, and then you have kind of like want to take the fight over from there. And that's actually good because this is a team when you play against Zyra, you don't have a choice of like slow face checking because she will spawn all the plans. Zyra is very, very good objective control and like space control. So this is a good choice already. And now they have kind of freedom to pick whatever they want in top. They can pick what's good for lane. They can pick what's competent because no matter what champions they play, the team comp is already set in, right? They already have the clear identity. And that's what I really like to see. And there's a good planning in coming into this draft.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like Seneca can like honestly, like you said, go for anything. You know, like I could see any tank CC. So we see the Zed get banned. I mean, you got to respect the guy's champs. You know what I mean? Like when somebody's comfortable on a champion, no matter how like good and organized play it is, like you have to respect it sometimes, you know, put them in some type of uncomfortable spot, even if it's just a little bit of a step down. I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
yeah, I mean, hopefully we will see like some type. I'm looking at like I believe it's Seneca's like team, and it looks like we do see some Kaisa mid from Howard. I mean, like possibly we see the Kaisa go mid lane instead of bot. Like this could still be a flex, like you were talking about, you know.
Yeah.
But which I think Ezreal like as well, like you're saying, good one on one, like into each other, a good each against, like for a good matchup. But they can just it might just be the matchup, but in mid lane instead of bot, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
There's also something weird that could happen, right? If you want to go into truly Plexix, you send the Kaiser to mid and you pick the Yasuo into that. I'm not sure if the bot laner plays this, but this if this is a Yasuo, if that's evident, Yasuo bot is already always good into Ezreal because you can just start E and it cannot really do anything. So I don't think we will get that spice. I just want to drop it here. So if something happens, you're not like, oh my god, why does this happen?
yeah, so we are seeing a couple more top lane bans here coming out of Seneca, seeing the Gwen and the Camille ban here. I mean, both top laners that just honestly have really, really good scaling and good into any comp you want to play. You know, and on the other side, we have another mid lane ban with the Vex as well, trying to ban out this mid laner. I mean, honestly, on the side of Seneca, I know Ori isn't very good right now. She's in a decent spot, but like Orianna with a Vi Nautilus and a Kaisa, like if you're trying to play a dive comp, Orianna could fit in slot here. We do see Cassante blind here out of or possibly. Yep, Cassante, a decent blind champion. I mean, definitely a champion that can do it all. You know, I mean,
And
a tank assassin.
Yeah, and it's also a good spot to pick because like the counters into Cassandra is Twisted Fate on top, it's Camille, it's Gwen. Two of these champions are already banned out, and Twisted Fate is more like you have to be really precise and good on champ. Garen is another one. However, this champion is a thing of like, is the Cassandra able to just play safe and like not do anything in lane? And because of your items, and because Garen needs attack speed and first item to really spike at 11, Cassandra will have a clear time window where he has more items than Garen, and then he can look for the all-in, right? So this is like a trade-off. I don't really like it. I like the Ahri more. You mentioned the Orianna, and this is what I wanted to see. The Ahri makes thematically more sense because you have a dive comp already, and it's a classic thing that we have seen so many times ago. Last year it was very prevalent. We had the Vi and the Ahri. You have one ult on someone, you just charm them, guaranteed that you get the reset. And this is what I like. Their comp from Seneca makes a lot of sense. And now we get into the double ADC comp on the side of Orange, which is something that we talked about. And now the question is just, how good is Seneca at picking those situations? For me, this composition is like they have a clear-cut goal. If Garen gets ahead in side lane, it's very, very hard for Orange to ever like play the map because Garen will have one push, and on the other side, the push will be onto Ahri, and the team will shift into Ahri. So that's already a big concern from my side. And on the other side, what Team Orange has good going for them is they have a clear advantage in jungle department, and they should be having a clear advantage in like priors, especially on mid and bot. And if they can use these priors to enable the Zyra to invade the Vi and get some leads there, it might be a situation where you have like a 50 CS lead or something if that accumulates. Because I love Zyra, I play myself, and these are the kind of games that you want, where you have 2 prio lanes and you can play around that.
Yeah. I mean, Zyra Khan, just like, honestly, like, such an iconic bot lane. You know what I mean? You get the little recall, you know what I mean? I like that they picked the AD carry there, you know what I mean? And Zaya must feel like a comfortable champ, because I feel like she's like, when you think of AD carries, you know what I mean? She's not like top 5, you know what I mean? She's not like that, like AD carry that stands out, but she's so good in a team fight, like that team has, you know what I mean? Like Zyra Khan, like really hard to beat with the CC they have. So I'm really wondering how they're going to execute. You know what I mean? I feel like both comps, like, they have an identity, right? They know what they want to do.
Yep.
But it usually just comes down to like communication and how you're planning to execute. You know, 'cause sometimes you could have the greatest comp in the world and you just don't execute exactly what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Like it really comes down to it. But yeah.
I want to jump onto Zaya pick, right? We already talked about what the enemy team wants to do, and that's diving. And Zaya is currently not really that high up into the meta because of certain reasons. Because she's like a ADC that's not really spiking on one item, and because of the item changes that happen with the Mythic and with now what is Flicker Blade, now it's called. You don't really have the CDR early on, and you go into like really awkward builds. But people have figured out, some people go Essence Reaver into IE, something like this. There's a variant builds like this, so I'm quite interested to see what type of direction this Zaya player is going to go. So this is my question, and the other thing is you have kind of one get off the jail free card with your ultimate. So there's one Nautilus ult. If Nautilus goes onto you, you can evade it. You can evade the vial. So that's definitely something that makes sense to me. And yeah, basically we have 2 front lines with the Rakan and the Cassandra, and then we have like these double ADC with an AP jungler. So it makes a lot of sense. And at the end of the day, as you said, it comes down to execution. And I think for me personally, if red side is not getting ahead or getting substantial leads inside the first 10 minutes, they're gonna have a hard time fighting at one spike first item, because the enemy team is spiking at 1 items and they don't really need items to function. So I don't want to see 3-3s on bot. I don't want to see 4 versus 4 for first Drake without items, because then the superior composition is Seneca for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Seneca, like, the one thing I worry about though is like if those Vial and Nautilus codes come through and there's just the CC from the side of on the red side, you mean Garen, how is Garen getting in there? Like, Cassandra can ult somebody over the wall and he has a one-on-one fight, right? But if Garen Q's in there and you just see a Zyra route, you're just like, okay, well, that I tried. You know what I mean? So it's really going to come down to that Cassandra Garen matchup top lane, like how their ults are going to like go against each other. You know what I mean? Can Garen time his right enough before Cassandra bursts him? You know what I mean? Like, can Garen get ahead? I feel like because if they go even, Cassandra wins. You know what I mean? Like, Garen wants to be ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
So their team wants to be ahead. I mean, once Seneca gets ahead, I think they can just snowball the game. You know what I mean? So that, like you said, red side, if they're not up 10 minutes, I 100% agree. It's looking really tough. It's going to be like a hole that they have to dig out.
Yeah. And it's also like, how easy is it to execute, right? For Orange, they have to be on the objective first. They have to be in the area first, because if they are not on the area first and they're walking into like Focal 4, it's very, very hard for them to retake the map. And so I think both teams have good choices, good chances. For me, I would say I prefer, if I'm talking about easy to execute, I would say it's the left side, right? Mm-hmm. You just need a slight bit of coordination in terms of like mid lane and jungle. And if that's there, then you always have a chance of bursting one target. And if you nuke Zyra or Ezo from at the start of the fight, then Zaya will not be able to just do what she needs to do, because there's so much threat. Because if they get one reset, then obviously the Ari can go further, right? Mm-hmm. And ideally speaking, like the Garen is coming from one flank, and then we have pincer movements where Garen is coming from one area and forcing them into walking to Garen or walking into the Ari or Nautilus. So this is ideally what Seneca wants to do. I'm curious to see if these teams are able to execute these things, because this is more like a concept that is played in like amateur, like collegiate And because I'm from Europe, right, it's called an European legal system where I used to coach. So that is where people have these concepts down. And I'm curious to see, because this is always exciting. This is why I love League of Legends on, so to speak, like lower level, because you see still these people ingesting those concepts that they see from pro play. They are hungry to improve. They're hungry to learn all these things. So that's what I'm looking forward.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna go to a little bit break before this match starts. It's exciting. I know we're all on the edge of our seats here, but we're gonna see the first match of Contingent versus Seneca very soon. We're gonna go to a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Game 1 has started. We're a minute in. We're just seeing a little bit of like a 5-point-esque type of thing. No invades here to start out. I mean, we do have heavy CC on the blue side, but we're not seeing anything yet. Just some poke by Ezreal into the Ahri, utilizing his range early with his Q, trying to support some little bit of dominance here. We will see as the levels come how that changes. I mean, looks like Vi starting on her red side, working up towards the top side, hopefully seeing if she can affect that top lane matchup, get that Garen ahead like I was talking about. Zyra doing the same thing, starting on her red, but working towards the bot side here. Not a lot to report, obviously, in the first level or so. CSing back and forth. We do see Nautilus kind of walking up, maybe possibly getting an auto. Garen spinning to win it on Gisante already. So trading at the top side, but nothing to report. Nobody dying just yet here. Looks like we're going to see level 2.
Yeah, but we see an invade coming in. Vi already is invading. She did like red into the enemy blue side, and we see a trade.
Happening. Hook onto the Xayah here. Can you get out? Can that passive Kai'Sa has a couple more autos to hit, but the root comes in from Xayah. Can they get the flash from Kai'Sa? Flash, and the barrier from Kai'Sa comes out, forcing Xayah to flash out here. No flash, no barrier on both AD carries, but the support will go down at the hands of Xayah for the first blood. Ignite did come out from the Nautilus. They are both really weak, but Xayah getting the kill right before Rakan. But Vi is here. Can she chase these people down? Flash into the Xayah. Rakan is down. Xayah only needs one more auto. She's walking away. She knows her demise, and Vi getting the double kill early is so huge on blue side. Like she loves early kills. I mean, gets her snowballing.
Yes, and this is so good by Vi. She not only denied oh my god, my words are stumbling. I was talking about the Xayah. Like, she not only denied Zyra 2 camps, what she also did is get 2 double kill, and this is kind of what you need in this matchup. You need to bring what yourself ahead. And yes, it's not going great for the bot side. However, now you have the advantage that you normally would have on the Zyra is not so huge. And you also have 3 camps that you can clear on your own side. And now the only thing that you need to be afraid of is that you're getting taken your respawn camps. And it's very, very good for the side of the Terrarus. However, on the side of Baewa, it's very, very good. So I'm thinking on red side, we just have to push. I don't think there's a dive happening.
Oh, yeah. No, she was sitting there for like a little bit. I'm just saying it's possible. Didn't see it.
Yeah, if you dive like this,
I mean, she had a chance to dive with that big wave, but she just waited too long. I mean, she has Zyra, like they can contest. Rakan can go in, get out. They didn't go for it this time, probably for the best, you know. I mean, but trying to keep Xayah's lead, trying to just put some pressure on this Kai'Sa, not keep him under tower, keep him out of the way. I mean, very, 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 very good, very, very simple.
And I still really have to highlight this. What Terrarus normally, how this matchup is going, and this is the only weakness of Zyra jungle, right? And generally AP junglers. When you invade them in the first clear, they have a hard time of like resetting their camps, and in a sense of like, you don't get level 4 at the first clear, you get level 4 when you clear your clubs. And normally you should be getting level 5, depending how the scuttle situation happens. But I'm thinking we are not going to time to talk because bot lane
a little bit of a start. Blue coming in from the Xayah. Can they capitalize? Nautilus is still going further. Can Kai'Sa get this passive off on the Rakan? The hook does go, but Rakan flashes out of the way. He's alive for now. Hits the level 4. Nautilus root E comes down. Guardian proc. Will that be enough? No, the Ignite does finish the Rakan off. Root coming out onto the Xayah. Can they get it? But the blade. Oh my, the Feathers getting both bot laners on the side of the Xayah. This Xayah is beefy already on the side of Contingent.
And it's not going to go better for the side of Sephiroth and life support will, because they get double killed again. And even though their jungler has a lead, this is going to be very, very much in their favor. And the last person that you want to have leads on is the Xayah, because if she gets to those item spikes earlier, she will have a lot more CDR, which means it's even harder to kill her.
No, just beautiful recall of the Feathers on her E. Just to be able to get both bot laners in one recall is insane. Just the attention to detail of where those Feathers are, or the positioning has to be like perfect. Applaud to the Xayah. I mean, They're going to keep trying to put their foot on the gas pedal here. Can we see if Cassante hits this cube, maybe goes in on the Garen, but I think he's just trying to farm. They're both like, hey, man, we're just trying to farm the minions. Let's chill a little bit. But Garen wants to go all in here. He does hit the silence and the spin to win here, but Cassante being able to hit 2 more Qs. Can he hit the Q3? Looks like they're just going to be playing for the grubs here, playing it safe. Xayah, these AP junglers, like we keep talking about, very focal point of the meta right now, and a lot of them are just so good at doing grubs. Like, they clear grubs insanely fast. One of the pros of them. You know, the Brands, the Zyras, Jabanas, you know what I mean? Like, they clear so well. Nautilus is going in. He is undeterred by Xayah's power spike, but this Xayah hurts. Kai'Sa is gone. Ignite coming out, but it doesn't really do much, and this Nautilus is going to flash away, trying to save his life. Will it matter? The Rakan knockup comes through, and 2 more feathers are in. Nautilus is back. He is down. Rakan jumping out, getting the heal off from his E. Does survive for now. Xayah is going to chase down this buy, see if he has enough burst. E coming out the channel into the knockup, but it just doesn't matter. There's so much damage onto this Xayah right now. It's kind of hard to contest it. But you want the shutdown goal, but like, how are you supposed to get it? Like, she's like, come get some.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very hard because basically the only way how you can kill Xayah right now is you have to understand, you have to send your support mid to ensure that Ahri is getting freed on the map, because this Ahri has not been involved, and you kind of want Ahri and Vi to be on the same pixel with their ult so you can lock that target down, because you will get the Vi ult out and Xayah will most likely ultimate, and then you get like another second chance because you need to blow that. And it's going to be very, very hard because also Xayah now has flash up, Xayah has now barrier up, and he already has Kraken Slayer. So it's really, really tough. And for the sides of Seneca Esports, yeah, I would say they just need to chill on bottom, but they need to understand, okay, we're not going to win. We need to get 4 people here, and it needs to be a 4 versus 2 situation. And I really have to highlight Mocha here, because whenever Nautilus is going in, he's doing the right thing. He's not trying to target the Nautilus with his battle dance. He's trying to get the Kai'Sa going, which means the Kai'Sa cannot attack the Xayah, which means there's a situation where the Xayah can trade on Nautilus, and it's getting unpunished. So this is really, really good by Mocha, and I need to keep doing that because this is how they continue to win.
Oh, definitely. I appreciate the shining moment of the support and you highlighting that, because they are really, sometimes they don't get enough recognition. They don't get enough appreciation. So definitely agree there. I mean, just honestly, I was going to say, you beat me to the punch a little bit. I was going to say, you know, it was like a kind of, they're just not recognizing that Xayah does a lot of damage right now. Like, she has that Kraken Slayer by now, and even before then, she was doing a lot of damage. I mean, like, you don't want to fight this Xayah. Like, at this point, you're like, look, she's kind of fed. We need to get Ahri involved. We need to create leads somewhere else. It's not happening by. We do have Vi and the Garen up here trying to dive this Cassante. I don't really know if that's the greatest idea in the world. I mean, but he does survive. Cassante's just like, look, man, I'm trying to farm against the Garen, trying to get my items. Let's just chill a little bit. I mean, we do see that Dragon is up in a little under 2 minutes here, so hopefully we'll see some resets. But we'll engage onto the Xayah here. Nautilus ulting, trying to get a root off, but the root onto this Nautilus ultimate coming out, forcing Xayah to ult. She is 1 auto away. The flash coming out from Xayah, trying to finish the kill. Did not work. Ultimate coming out from Lacan. A lot of ultimates burn there. Every ult is down besides the Kai'Sa ultimate. Xayah, Zyra is dead. The Vi ult coming out, the Garen silence. She can't really do much. You know what I mean? I mean, like, ability-based champion, your silence. There's nothing you can do. That the right.
And that's the way how Seneca can get back into this game. Understanding, okay, we are not going to win on bot lane ever right now. Only if bot lane does a mistake from the side of Contingent Esports, they will die. However, it's more likely to make sure that Garen gets ahead, that you attack the Zyra, because currently the Zyra is even level. And if you were a Zyra player or have ever played Zyra, you kind of feel pain right now because you shouldn't be down a level actually, and you shouldn't be down in CS, you shouldn't be down camps. So that's definitely an area where Contingent Esports can lose the game. So they need to make sure, we just want to play around to Xayah. Sorry, we have Xayah and Zyra, and this is very confusing for my brain. I don't know why, because maybe I played too much Xayah.
Fair enough. No, I mean, I agree. You know, you want to play around this Zaya, but it also creates an opportunity, right? That they are just so strong. You really don't have to pay attention on the side of like on red side. You don't have to pay attention really to bot side anymore. You know what I mean? You have two options here. You know, they're just as like they're gonna be just as strong regardless in net scaling because she's now hit that one item power spike already. You know, like she's gonna once she gets two items, she's very, very strong. Like this gives Zyra the opportunity to focus other parts of the map if she chooses to do so. But they do try to opt for the dragon here, trading the void grubs that they had already gotten 3 of earlier. But Zyra is getting pushed up by this Nautilus with the Ahri having prio in mid. Ezreal can't do much. He is almost out of mana. Nautilus going in on this Zyra. Can Rakan save him? The Zyra ultimate coming out. This save her for now. Nautilus is the first to fall off Zaya's burst damage here. Garen going in on this Zyra. They will have no jungle for this dragon. And Contingent is just going in. There's only one left, and the Kaisa is here. Garen and Ahri being able, just sitting mid. They're like, look, that fight was going bad. They try to push the tower. But, I mean, jungle down for the side of Contingent, but it really doesn't matter when nobody's touching Zaya at all. Like, if Zaya is untouched, the fight is 100% in Contingent's favor. She's just that strong right now. Any fight that both bot lanes are there, Contingent automatically has an advantage. Like, right now, it's kind of hard to deal with this Zaya. Like, if she has ultimate, she's very, very untouchable.
Yeah, and I need Sherry to realize, okay, if my ADC is in base, I cannot actually start a thing. I cannot take control on the Drake side when my bot lane is in base. So that was just getting the fight going. And if those mistakes don't happen, it's as you said, right? The enemy team can't really do anything. So just realize, I'm just clearing my top set camps, then I'm being bot, then I'm waiting for my bot lane prior to make sure that I can move in the river. And once that's happening, we can do whatever we want. We can go invade. But without that, you're going to get into scenarios where we might throw the game and might even cause so much chaos that Desire will be killed eventually. So that's not what I want to see. And from the side of Seneca, I'm asking myself, okay, how can we actually win this game? We have one item on the Vi, and the Vi is actually going the very expensive item, the Trinity.
Yes, very, very. I mean, I was surprised to not see the lethality, but I think the Triforce is really good. But we do see the engage onto the Nautilus, trying to keep them off this tower as much as he can. He's sacrificing a good chunk of his HP to do so. I mean, he is almost on his Warmogs, but it's not anytime soon on that sport gold paycheck. But, you know, one thing I'm noticing on the side of Seneca, like one really big difference is this Garen in the top lane scrapping with this Cassante up to 16 CS. He does have the ultimate up if Cassante chooses to all out here. The Q3 does hit the Unstoppable coming out from the Cassante, instantly silenced. Unstoppable into the Garen ultimate, a bunch of true damage with that sword coming down on the Cassante. This Garen is strong at that 3-0, and he's going to get this tower as well, you would assume.
Yeah, and remember when I said in the draft, hey, there's a sequence where Cassante can kill Garen, and it's because of the item advantage. Unfortunately, Garen had the item advantage, and he also had the level 2 ultimate. So, and this is the reason why people pick Garen into Cassante, because he basically says Cassante, oh, I'm putting myself in a low life situation because you lose HP when you go into the all out, and you lose resistances. So it's kind of like working out for the Garen. And this is a good way for the sign of Seneca Esports to play this. But it dies
here on the side of Contingent. The ultimate coming out from Rakan, getting the charm on the Nautilus. The Kaisa does blast out. She will survive for now, but the Nautilus is getting sacrificed. Ezreal TPing down to help this dive. But Ahri also is here, trying to possibly a little bit of an error here on the Ahri's part, having to force the ultimate out just to get her way to survive for now. But we do see them chasing, possibly catching up with that scuttle boost. It doesn't look like it. Cassante just wants some gold, but Garen and Vi are not allowing it. Going in, breaking this shield a little bit, chunking him out, saying, look, man, Cassante, you're not him, bro. You're not him. Garen, it's Garen's time to shine. By staying here, the Unstoppable coming out from this Cassante, hitting a Q, walking towards his team, though. He might be down, but his team is just so strong. Already up 2,000 gold. Can they capitalize on this push by the Vi and this Garen? Zaya coming in, rooting the Garen, keeping him there. Ezreal to coming out, chunking this team down. They're tracking them down. It's 4 versus 2. Garen does get the silence off, but he is stunned. He is a Beyblade. Vi using the Rift Arrow to get out of here. Drift King out of there. So they only get the 1 kill, but making them use Rift Herald instead of using it for a charge, because I don't believe it's going to hit this mid lane turret with this charge. He's safe. It is mid, But they did get a kill, and this Zaya is now 9-1.
Definitely the bit more off that they can chew in the top side and didn't realize that the enemy team was collapsing on them, and therefore they get one kill. As you said, like Raus is
coming out from the Nautilus onto that Rakan, just trying to keep him off that tower. Ezreal just bursting Vi. Vi is gone. The Ahri is gone. Zaya is just continuing to rain down with these autos, taking one tower shot here. She doesn't have the ultimate anymore, so she got to worry about that. Make sure she's not dying to the Nautilus, giving him a shutdown. He might carry the game. But we do see the tower fall. Rakan knockup coming in, and the Zaya collecting the kill. Garen coming in, instantly ultimate. We see the barrier coming out, but it's not going to be enough from this Zaya to protect him from the Garen's true damage. Another kill on this Garen, but we're starting to see other leads formulate from what bot lane did early on in this Ezreal at 2-0. Very, very strong pick, and this Kai'Sa is just so behind. She can build the cheap items, but she is just so squishy. Everybody on the team of Contingent right now is just very, very burst heavy and strong. You get caught by one CC and you're just kind of gone.
Yeah, you just one shot. Anyone who's like face tanking something, like is it like a Rakan W? Is it like a Zyra E? Will just die straight up.
Yes.
It's like, and even if the Zyra's there, and good side for the thing of Seneca Esports, they have some light, I would say, in the form of the Garen. And I need them to realize, okay, we want to play through that Garen. So there's a concept called overloading, which means you basically send two of your solo laner to the same side to kill the solo laner of the enemy team and buy yourself time. And this is the perfect situation where you want to do this, because in 55 seconds, the Drake is spawning, and let's be honest, you cannot contest this, right? I understand that you want to contest this, so because it's third Drake, but you cannot contest this. So what I want to see is them fighting for this mid wave and then playing for this top T2, because there's no realistic chance that they should be getting this. Just look at the items. 2 items on Zaya, 2 items, or like 1.5 items. The Mana Moon is not finished, but Trinity Force and Ezreal. And it's just a question of, can you actually walk in there? And I don't think you can.
Especially with the vision that they just put down. I mean, like, you have wards all the way in red right now. They're getting cleared, but now you know exactly where Seneca Esports is.
Yeah, you would have to go now. You would have to go now, because there's still some time on the Zy ult, and if you have the timing, it would be good. But now the timing's over, because now Zyra has control, and it's very, very hard to walk in. And
I guess Ezreal coming down, chunking a little bit here. I mean, I like the confidence out of Contingent. They're saying, hey, look, you guys want to fight us? We'll gold gap you. They are wall gapping this team right now. Nautilus is picked with the Zyra E in the knockup, and he is gone. Zaya burst him already. We see the flash on the Vi coming in. You trying to go in on the Zaya, using the ult to come out. Unstoppable does come out in time, but Zaya does fall to the Garen ultimate here. Can Kai'Sa get away with this blast fight? She does see the Unstoppable coming out, and the ultimate all out from Xante, bursting this Kai'Sa, so she can't get away. They tried to fight, but Nautilus just seems to be not in the right position. Not realizing that if he gets caught, even though he is a tank, he will die. Like, it does not matter at this point where this gold lead is. Even though it is 4K, it's so oppressive on the side of Contingent. Ezreal trying to get away from this Garen. Garen's just trying to see if he can get anything else of worth out of that fight. Maybe a tower with the 3 grubs. Garen does do a lot of damage to towers, but Ezreal will chunk him if he hits enough damage. Qs and abilities. Ezreal is just... He doesn't have that mana immune like we were talking about, but he still does a lot of damage.
Yeah, for sure, right? And you have to understand, like, the goal difference is also only so small because Garen got 1 times a 1k shutdown, and then I think it was a 600 as well. So
going all in on this Rakan, and he really didn't take a lot of damage, but Zaya is here to back up this Rakan. We do see that going further. My game wants to, client wants to move away from me, bro. What is that? Okay, yeah, but we do see the Baron being taken here. I mean, they're trying to end this game as fast as they can, especially with this gold. They want to keep putting their foot on the gas pedal here on the side of Contingent. I mean, I can't blame them. I mean, they really can do whatever they want at the current moment.
Yeah, and it's also a Zyra specific, right? If you can like spawn up to 6 plants, 6 seeds, and then you Q and then you ultimate, you will just nuke this Nash so fast. And because you have a 3 items AD carry at 20 minutes, you don't actually need to do that. And from this point on, it's just like, okay, what I want to see is them understanding, okay, we want to play for these tier 2 on the side lane. So there's a
You
fight
see the
coming in.
knockup onto this Garen, the one win con on the side of Seneca. Can he do something here? Can they get anything out? But we do see the ultimate coming out from the Zyra, but the Nautilus is the first to fall still. The knockup, the charm coming in on this Kaisa and is gone. Can Vi get away is the question. Can she miss? No, she cannot dodge any of Ezreal's damage. Very good follow-up. CC coming out of the side of Contingent, being able to just keep moving forward. It doesn't matter how far that Seneca wants to run, they cannot hide.
And it was a beautiful try. Well, we just need to, at the end of the day, look at it and say, okay, this is very much going forward into the side of Contingent Esports. This is going to be a somewhat smooth ride. If they don't manage to kill Zaya in an instant, right, layer the CC and then one-shot her, it's going to be very, very hard. And even if they do, we saw that at Drake fight, there's still a Cassandra existing, there's still an Ezreal existing, there's still Zyra existing. Someday I will get it done.
You see the Kaisa ultimate coming out here onto this Rakan. I mean, trying to get any pick here, but it's just not possible. I mean, Garen could try to go in, but it's really, they're just grasping at straws right now. Garen going in, getting instantly rooted into a knockup, another root. He walks away with his life, and no, he doesn't. I stand corrected. Ezreal getting the finish onto this Garen. The Nautilus is next to fall, and Vi is the third. Can they get a trade kill? The Kaisa getting the trade kill onto this Rakan, but instantly getting rooted into the Ezreal ult, and goodbye, Kaisa. Ezreal with the triple kill here. And it looks like they could just end the game through mid, and this game is all she wrote.
24 seconds on out of respawn time, and also is spawning in 5. They have super million wave, they have 2 ADCs. This definitely looks like game is going into the side of Contingent Esports. They're hitting the first Nexus Tower. They will surely hit the second Nexus Tower.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it seems like
this game is over.
Yeah, it should be game.
They are a confident, emphatic game 1 win on the side of Contingent. Oh, but we do see a knockup happening. Constante unstoppableing the Nautilus ult here. Zanya coming out of Sherry. Constante getting the kill onto this vibe. The Garen ultimate does come out, but does not secure a kill. Constante getting the kill onto this Garen, and Kaisa is the last left. I mean, Ari is here. Can she get something out of it? A trade kill onto this Zaya. The Zaya finally falls, giving the shutdown onto the Ari, but unfortunately, it's so late. And that Nexus is broken. Contingent with a emphatic game 1 win, a 9K gold lead at 23 minutes, 40-second game. Very, very quick game. I mean, they just, as soon as they got that lead in bot lane, they just never stopped. And I don't know whether it was a combination of their bot lane just knowing that they're strong and they're going to win, or the other bot lane not realizing, hey, we're not winning any of these 2v2s right now. We need to slow down.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a combination of underestimating like the 2v2, like Kaisa, Zaya. If you go back to 2020 and 2019 and 2018, this was actually the meta in bot lane. Kaisa, Zaya, you would handshake these matchups all over. So I think it's a combination of, hey, misunderstanding that you need to slow down, and also misunderstanding what was happening inside the map, right? We knew that Terrassus is like invading and was coming downside. If you just wait for a jungler to appear, then it's a 3 versus 2 situation, and that might swing the game completely different, because you see, it was at the end of the day, it just was like a wallet fight, right? And Zaya had just, unfortunately, the biggest wallet of the whole rift. So
it's tough. It's like, while we were talking about like jungle, when the jungle master versus the AD master, and we're saying like, hey, like these players, or like if you have a good jungler that's shot calling, whatever, it's going to be very helpful, right? But it's kind of hard. Like if your AD carry is ahead, this meta right now is so AD carry centric when they get snowbally. Like the Jinxes, the Zayas, the Kaisas, like if they get 4, 5, and 0, they become the scariest player on the Rift, like you were talking about earlier in the game. You know what I mean? Like the one person you don't want to lead on is the Zaya or the Kaisa. Like as an enemy opposing bot laner, you know what I mean? Like how are you supposed to engage in that when Zaya and Rakan are just so good at going in, going out, going in, going out? Like you never know what they're gonna do. And I loved it. The Rakan was amazing. Like just baiting this Nautilus out and then saying, hey, I'm going back in, by the way. And it was beautiful, beautiful. Oh, and we're just hearing that Seneca has decided to stay blue side, getting that first pick prio, maybe possibly picking the Zaya here, trying to take it out of the hands of Contingent, but I mean, honestly, there's so many good AD carries right now, right? I don't think that's going to be happening. So what do you think they should do differently with this blue side pick first? Like, is there something they should be prioritizing, you think?
I think it's, to me, if I'm speaking honest, I don't think the draft is any issue. I think the gameplay was the issue, and I am not a fan of rerun draft, so I would see some changes, right? And for me, the biggest change that I would do is I would match an ADC in mid if that's possible, because the problem was you lose prio versus ADCs as control mages because they just have more base damage, which means like base AD, which means they will lose push, and it's a specific thing for Ezreal. You can just spam Qs on the wave, and through your passive, you will get so much attack speed that no one can really match that. That's also a thing on bot. So this is the first thing that I would change. Get maybe an AP jungler and play an AD mid, so you can like match the prio. And on the side of Contingent Esports, I don't really think they need to change something in terms of draft. I think they need to be just more aware of what can happen on the map and understand, hey, we have like this high performing jungler, and we need to make sure that our jungler is allowed to do this by protecting the vision, because this was a very, very good thing by Terrassus. So you have to say that to make sure that the Zyra is from the get-go put behind, because yes, the Zyra was relevant, but the Zyra wasn't as oppressive as we know her to be in our solo queue games and how she should be played. So definitely kudos to Terrassus, so some good elements. But for me, I have to highlight Mocha. I'm hoping I pronounced that name right, because she was like very, very crucial in understanding what she needs to do on the map, and show also how she needs to play the fight. Right? There's some lacking synergy in how to play the map, but this is just like me like wanting to see all the things perfect system, but it's not happening. It's totally fine. But I definitely have to say it impressed me how she played out those sequences in the lane, in the trades, knowing, understanding exactly what she needs to do. And this gives me a lot of confidence, because that means the enemy side, like Contingent Esports, what they should be doing, we want to play through bot. We currently have a better understanding how to play these 2v2 matchups. And this could be their so-called win condition when they go into this draft already.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I could see them picking the Ezreal. I think that is like maybe something they could consider doing. I mean, obviously, like we talked about, it was like more of a gameplay issue, right? You know, but like obviously we want to change draft up. Like you don't want to, especially when you lose, and it's like kind of like it was. I'm not gonna say it wasn't close, but it wasn't like a nail biter.
No, it wasn't close.
It wasn't a nail biter. I wasn't expecting like Contingent Esports to lose like 4 towers. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, in general, right? Like maybe the Ezreal might be the pick here. He is someone, like, we started the draft right with Kai'Sa and Ezreal, the first 2 off the board. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know if they're gonna be bot. We don't know if they're gonna be mid. You know what I mean? But like Ezreal is just so strong right now, and like he's scaling. He hits 2 items. He hits like a truck. You know what I mean? And if you want to play them into Xayah as well, like that's not a terrible matchup. You know what I mean? Like being able to just be safe in bot and having your support roam. And if he's going to play Nautilus, being able to impact the mid lane or the bot or the top, you know, and being able to be mobile is so huge. And Ezreal gives that Seneca that option. So I wouldn't be surprised if they pick it B1 if it's not banned already.
I think definitely something that you have here, and this is more the focus point, it's the concept of having double ADCs, right? Yes. And we saw that it was like just in the higher leagues, it was like Tristana getting picked up a lot, right? And then it was like some Lucian, and now we have like Lucian, Zeri, Tristana, and Corki, like having these type of jumps. So, and the thing is, if one team has 2 ADCs and the other team doesn't, it's always going to be very, very difficult to maneuver inside the team fights, because you don't have like, oh, we kill the ADC and then it's easy to play. You have to kill a second ADC. And then if you have a different source, like the Xayah, for example, there's so much damage into the game. And then you have, so for me, I need to see like the understanding of, hey, we need to ban like these AD carries out, and we need to make sure that either we get like AD carries, AD carry in mid lane, or it's like control mage versus control mage.
No, yeah, you definitely mid lane. Like if you can, I feel like mid lane's like that lane where it's like if you can keep it stable, right? If it goes even, like you're you're fine. That's what you like. You obviously want to lead, right? But like mid lane goes even. Most times it's like it's okay. You know what I mean? Like you're fine with that. I mean, especially with the 80 carries that, like you're saying, 80 carry versus 80 carry, mage versus mage. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you want to
Yes,
match.
then you're fine. Then you're fine. But you have ADC versus control mage. You're not fine for the control mage side to just farm, because especially from the Ari, we needed to see that Ari needed to get out on the map and impact the map. Right?
And she just
I'm not saying it's the player's fault, right? I'm saying there has to be some understanding. We need to integrate our mid laner into our plays, and this is something that I see a lot of times, right, when it comes to like grandmaster teams, because this is a concept that someone needs to teach you actively. So, okay, hey, I'm walking with my jungler around and we want to play this map alone, because we always speak about mid lane jungle synergy. You need to understand, for both mid lane and jungle, we are playing one role. We're playing off each other. When I step right, you step right. When I step left, you step left, right? So this is what I want to see inside teams we getting into a craft.
Okay, it's working for me now, I think. No, it's not. I can't see it. Could you? Okay, so draft. We see the Zyra band. The Briar band is not a new one, but the Zyra band, not a surprise. I mean, champion is very good at doing a lot of things, clearing, CC, damage, you name it, she can do it, right? Fiddlesticks again. I mean, I would imagine that Orange is just going to ban the same 3 champs. You know what I mean? I mean, they had success with those 3 bans. I mean, usually when you win, you kind of keep it similar, you know, maybe one ban changes if they had like a win con, but the Ezreal B one, like I was talking about, taking it out of the hands of Contingent Esports and like being able to use it yourself is always good if you can pick it. I mean, definitely would probably see it. I wouldn't be surprised if you see kind of a similar pick out of Contingent. You know what I mean? Maybe just some type of 80 carry that could be like a Lucian, maybe I could see. You know, just like some type of 80 carry that could be played both mid and bot. Keeping that flex open, I feel it could be really useful. Zeri is another one.
Zeri is
really
exactly
good.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like the adaptation from Seneca. They banned Zyra, right? In the first game, they lost the ban. That's why there was a blank ban. And they picked the Ezreal. So Zeri is one of these champions that is currently played into mid and into bot. And Ezreal will get the prio in the mid lane matchup, but right now we don't really know where it's going. So from the side of Orange, Contingent Orange, now I'm thinking like, okay, we want to play jungler as well, because I don't really see that you should be picking full bot lane, because you get counter pick on 3 anyways.
Ooh, Bel'Veth.
I don't like Bel'Veth here.
I feel like Bel'Veth blind is kind of like troll.
Yes.
Because I think Oppie could be really high value here. I mean, like, because Zeri, Bel'Veth trying to dash, the Yuumi getting picked is a little interesting. I mean, Ezreal Yuumi, I understand why it's good, right? You know, being able to just back off, heal. You know what I mean? He's very mobile then. The Zed getting picked, they're going with comfort here. They're going with comfort. Look, you banned Silas already. You're not banning my other champion that I have a lot of comfort on. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see if the Zed is very useful, but I feel like eventually he gets outscaled by Zeri Bel'Veth. I mean, like he did get the buff, but I don't think it's like too crazy. Am I wrong? I mean,
it's a question where you do play it. Right? I think the role that's actually most played is jungle right now, nowadays, right? I think Ezreal Yuumi is a good pairing. However, now if there's or Contingent Orange, I either go like, you can go Enchanter route, or you can just go melee route and make the game easy.
The Enchanter route is where they went.
I don't like this because of the Bel'Veth, and I can explain to you why.
I mean, yeah, no, go ahead.
So Bel'Veth is a champion that wants prio lanes, and you want someone to start fights for you, right? And you need prio lanes, especially in mid on top. So it's a thing where you pick it normally blue side or red side, or you pick it on 4, so you know have a counter pick on your solo lanes. So this is the reason why I don't like this, because now what you need on top is you need kind of like frontline and engage, and on mid lane something that can get perma prio. So these are the conditions that you want to have, and you want someone to be able to kind of like burst people so you can just clean up. And if you don't get this is already pretty hard. So this is why I don't like it. Generally, the champion has very high snowball potential, and I'm excited to see how Contingent Esports Orange is able to execute. For the side of Seneca, what they need definitely, and this is where we talked about in the after analysis, hey, just put Terraces on the AP jungler and see what's going on there. And I think this is what we probably will get.
I mean, definitely, I think the Garen ban kind of falls in line with what you're talking about. Garen being able to be a tank buster, you know what I mean? Kind of just like, and the Vi as well with her shield break, the toughness break, armor break, you know what I mean? Like, most of those champions are really bad for like fighting into tanks. You know what I mean? Like, tanks don't want to fight against them. You know, so I mean, good bans. They're trying to possibly going for a tank top laner, like you were talking about, and we see the two same bans coming out of Seneca for pretty similar bans. Besides the one that they missed last game, I mean, now putting the Zyra in there. So pretty similar bans. I mean, the Garen and the Vi, you know, last game giving kudos to those top jungles, saying, "Hey, we probably just don't want to fight into that here. I'm okay against that. You know, I'll pass." But the Ornn, the Gragas, I think the Ornn is very good. I mean, the scaling on him, he's a tank. He can engage. He can do burst damage. He got deceptive damage as the Ornn. I mean, once he gets up there, you know, he gets the heart steal, gets the empowered auto, the grasp. You know, he does a lot of damage. But Udyr is looking. Udyr.
I see. This can be top lane Udyr. It's a good matchup for top lane, right?
Yeah.
And you just need to respect early game. But you will get push and you will be able to take plates. And this kind of doesn't force you to pick an AP jungler because you theoretically have enough magic damage, but it could also be jungle Udyr. I'm not gonna shut this down. Of course. Definitely, like from the side of Contingent Orange, Esports, they understand, okay, we need frontline, we need engage, and they pick that. And the last thing, you give counterpick to mid because you are not sure where the Z is going. Yes, the Z should be going into the mid lane, but it could also go into jungle. And
we just figured out, oh, well, I mean, if you're looking at solo queue, you would be like, okay, like, who is the guys picking Mordekaiser jungle? But that, I don't think is the case here. I think it's going to be the Mordekaiser top into that Ornn, trying to kind of burn him down with those burn items that Mordekaiser likes to build, like the Leandries. And then he has his rallies. You know, he's trying to keep Ornn close. I mean, Ornn wants to fight close. Mordekaiser's like, okay, I'm down. But Udyr, Mordekaiser, two really good AP champs. I mean, Udyr being able to build like the Bramble Vest and Frozen Heart might be not too bad, but I don't think it's like super viable. But I mean, they have enough AP damage. But I like the Diana mid here into the Z.
This is a good matchup for Diana. Yeah. This is a very good matchup because you basically you have the mini shield, right? This is also like, I'm going back the memory lane with season 3 where this was a matchup that was played in the region. So for me, I would say there's definitely a better understanding from both sides. Okay, what we want to do. They have like burst, they should have prior lanes. And for me, the question is just, can they shut down like the enemy jungler? Because if Bel'Veth, and this is what I want to see from them, look into invading early, because Bel'Veth is one of the strongest level 1 champions because of basically 4 abilities, and you can if you cancel them against the wall, you will do so much damage. So this is what I'm looking at, abusing the Udyr, making sure that the Udyr is not being able to full clear, and then you have a quite good scaling. Right? On the side of Seneca, what I'm looking forward is make sure that the Mordekaiser is isolated and the Mordekaiser gets to scale, because if the Mordekaiser is scaling, he has a feast because all these champions, Bel'Veth, if she's not giga far ahead, Ornn and Diana are champions that you can pull into your death realm.
Yes. No, definitely. I mean, I'm really feeling Contingent's draft right now. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, Seneca has like, it's kind of hard to touch those top 3 champions that they picked in the first 3 picks, you know, with the Zed, the Yuumi, the Ezreal. I mean, very slippery champs. Udyr as well with his like anti-CC. I mean, like he's not gonna be touched. But the scaling is like, if you get to 35 minutes, you know what I mean? Like in 30 minutes, you have Bel'Veth, Soraka, Ornn, Zeri, and you're in a 35-minute game against them. That's scary. I mean, Zeri scales with items, Ornn scaling on items and gives you better items. And Bel'Veth kills one epic monster like a Baron or a Rift Herald or the Grubs, and she empowers them and makes them her own. You know, so I'm very interested. If Bel'Veth gets ahead early, like we're talking about, she's dangerous, and this team will thrive off that. We saw how quickly they are able to push on that gas pedal, and they see how hard they stomp on it because they never let go. So yeah. you wanna. I think it's the same thing we were talking about last game. If you need to get ahead in the first 10 minutes,
For sure.
you have to get ahead.
And I think it's like what I want to see is like make sure that you deny like send the Mordekaiser base once pre-6, because if Ornn gets a brief, it's basically the same thing, and then this extended version of you playing Ornn versus Fiora, right? We all know that the Fiora is going to win eventually, but if you put the Fiora behind, make her lose certain ways, make her lose XP, this can like continue or like stop the scaling for like 2 minutes or like for even 5 minutes, depending how the situation is set up. And for Ornn, that means more breathing room, and more breathing room means you get the scaling going on your side and you get to farm on. So what I'm currently interested in is like I'm definitely hyped for the mid lane matchup, because this is a matchup that I have not seen in a long time. Diana's a very explosive champ, and you like can one shot. And one thing that I really don't want to see this, because this is an Ornn specific thing. For all you guys down there, if you want Ornn to upgrade your Infinity F, if you want Ornn to upgrade your Death Cap, put the item into the first slot, because I don't want to see like something like if I have an Infinity Edge and as Shiv, I don't want to see the Shiv upgraded. So please do me that favor in your solo queue games. I don't want to see that anymore.
No, yeah, honestly, I played with the Ornn for a bit in ranked, and he's like, bro, like, I was like, why did you not upgrade my Archangels, man? Why did you not upgrade my Seraph's Embrace? Like, I wanted it. And he goes, bro, it's not in your first slot. I was like, mind blown. You know what I mean? I was like, that's how that works? Like, oh my gosh. I was like, bro, you upgraded the wrong item. I blamed him for it, and then I felt like an idiot. But no, I mean,
don't be like Noah.
Don't be like me, man. Okay, like, look, just go play with Ornn. Just play with the 4 and 10 vein top I get in solo queue.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, both these comps just look amazing. I mean, we're trying to get in the game. We got a little bit of some stuff happening, so we're waiting a little bit. But I'm just, it's my excitement isn't going away. You know, definitely. I mean, we're going to take a little bit of a longer break, let these teams get ahead and get ready to go. But we'll be back for game 2, and hopefully it's exciting as game 1. So we'll see you soon. Okay, we're back. The game hasn't started yet. I know. We're all disappointed, right? But we do have a roster change. So the mid laner for Seneca could not continue. So they did call in one of their subs, Days. He will be playing the same champion. He will be on the Zed into the Diana. The draft is the same. So I wonder how comfortable he is on this champion, to be honest. You know, I mean, it looks like he's a top lane player, but I mean, at least he's still like a solo laner. You know, like it would be different if he was like a support player just coming in playing Zed, you know what I mean? Just to say, like, so we can continue to play. You know what I mean? Like supports have good hands. I'm not trying to disrespect supports, but if he was like an enchanter player, you know what I mean? And they came in just like, I'm gonna play assassin. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like at least you're like somewhat type of comfortability, you know? But I mean, do you think it's gonna affect much? Or like I don't know. I feel like I still really like Contingent's comp more. And I feel more comfortable with what I just saw in game one. You know what I mean? Like I have a little bit of recency bias happening.
Yeah, I think it's going to be definitely your off role in mid lane is easier to play than it's top, right? Because in top lane you have to top lane is wave state is everything. If you mess up your wave state once, you cannot get out of it, right? It's your problem because
you're gonna be pinging jungle, and jungle's gonna be like, "Good luck, man. Good luck." I mean,
well, I would say, like based on what we have seen execution-wise, I would say it's going to the side of Contingent Esports. However, I do think that this is a game where if they manage to just make sure that the Udi is getting like a lot of farm and it's just clearing and they deny maybe first grabs and second grabs. So Belveth cannot get a true form out of grabs, and she has to play for Howled to get the extended true form. That is a good thing. And at the same time, if they manage to just keep bot lane even, or in the sense of like Zeri or Zoraka not getting too far ahead, then I think it can be a game that is playable definitely and can be winnable for the side of Seneca Esports. But I think definitely the substitution, the emergency substitution, is gonna matter in a sense of you know how you play as a unit, right? And you know what kind of the patterns on the things that your teammates want to do. And now you're playing with a different player. For sure, it's also changes up a lot of things, and especially when it comes to communication. How is this person going to interact with their teammates? So this is definitely a bit of a bummer, but this is how it is, right?
I mean, sometimes though, like, you know what I mean, like having that sub, like, you know, it's like in sports, right? Like you see like a spark plug, you know what I mean? Like you have somebody on your bench that maybe energizes this roster a little bit. Be like, hey, look, I'm here, I'm fresh. I didn't just lose that game. You know what I mean? We're down 1-0, but I'm gonna help us come back. You know what I mean? On this end. Like he could be the unsung hero of game 2. We haven't seen it yet. Like that'd be entertaining. You know what I mean? But I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, mid lane is the easiest, but like if he was playing like Trist or like an AD carry champ, you know what I mean, that could just auto push. I feel like it'd be like you'd be a lot more like comfortable, be like, okay, it's not that big a deal. But you're on an assassin, right? Like you're on an assassin that's also playing against another assassin that can also play tank, that can also play burst mage. You know what I mean? Like there's like a lot that could go wrong. Like with like it's rough with the sub, you know what I mean? We wish that we had the same rosters, but I'm excited to see what this Zed has to hold. I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm good. There we go. And we're on the rift. We're opening up a little bit. I mean, like, we obviously are a little earlier in as than we usually start. I mean, it's fine, but we're getting in there. We're getting on the rift. We're moving. We're grooving. We're in game 2 now. Finally, it's here. You know, I mean, like, I'm ready to go. I mean, are we going to see anything different though? Is the question. I mean, we're still seeing some 5 points happening, but that's like just chilling between 2 of Contingent's players. Just like, hey man, I'm just chilling. Like we don't gotta do nothing. He might throw a shuriken or 2. But I don't think anything's gonna happen, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just like the normal covering that's happening, and there's not much to see, right? I like that the bot lane of Seneca is positioning aggressively and making sure, oh, we need to contest this push, because if they don't contest this push, this can be already a difference maker, and you do not want to lose out on that push in bot lane, because we all have played Ezreal, been stuck on the turret, and you just basically use Q for last hitting, right? But if you can like get the push, you can use Ezreal very offensively and use your Qs to poke, right? Yes, there's the sustain of the Soraka, but still, right? You have to hit Qs to have this kind of unlimited sustain as Soraka.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if we're seeing Zed already invading, possibly getting some vision on that Bel'Veth on the chickens, kind of giving his Udyr like a little bit of like an idea where Bel'Veth's starting, where she's going. But Zed and Diana already trading autos. Zed does have the Ignite here. He does have the better level 1 here. Ignite, the flash coming out from the Diana. Will she fall? She's very close. She does survive. She'll be back. She can TP back. Zed is also very low. I mean, overall, better for Diana. I mean, to be able to like just TP back. I mean, you never want to back this early, you know, but Zed has to walk. Like, you mean, like you always, that's the trade-off with that Ignite early. Like, if you don't get the kill in the first 3 levels or 2 levels, you're kind of like, that enemy with that TP is just, you can shove a wave, you can take a really bad trade, and you're just right back in it. It really doesn't.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also like the wave was pushing into the Diana into alternatives. So it's going to much experience. But I'm thinking what's going to happen is we're going to see level 3 to level 2 or something 1, right? Okay, Zed got some experience as well. But I have to highlight Terraus as well. It's the same kind of thing that Terraus did last game. Raptor start into blue side corridor invade. And now it's like you are super far ahead. And if your lanes are now stable, you're going to be up so much. But I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen.
First blood onto the Diana. I mean, he had no Ignite. He has flash, but like once you have no Ignite, that was your like lead. That was your like way to be like, okay, I can 100 Azir you quicker. Yeah, you used that last fight and it didn't happen. Trying to get up here a little bit. I mean, like, really good by the Diana just to recognize, like, hey, I'm a little stronger now. You used your funny summoner that can do damage and grievous wounds. You didn't do anything. So, I mean, well done by the Diana to keep the pressure on even with that good start.
Yeah, definitely. And it's an experience lead, and this experience lead going to lead to when Diana is 6, Zed is going to be 5. And this is the timing that you can always use where you just basically you all in not to kill, but you all in to force them base, and then you grow a bigger experience lead because then you're level 7 and they're level 5. And I hope Alternative is able to understand this from this point on. And currently, other than that, what we're seeing is that Udyr is getting it, and like Terraus is really, I hope he's
looking to go in here. Diana going in on the Zed, dashing right back to the Udyr, trying to get back to the tower, but does not have flash. Zed does get the kill onto Diana, evening this a little bit. Ezreal getting the kill onto the Soraka. It's now just a 2 versus 1 onto the Zeri. It's going to be close. He does have the Yuumi shielding here to keep him alive. He's just out of range. He does have the better minion wave here, so possibly getting the damage on the Yuumi Q does not hit the Zeri. So it looks like she will be able to escape just barely. The Q doesn't land, but forces out the barrier from the Zeri. She's very low on her tower. She's going to have to stay for this wave. I mean, try to survive until the Soraka gets here to heal her up a little bit. But, like, this is a massive wave. Like, they might be able to force the Zeri down if they... But Soraka here just in time. The silence does come out. The Ezreal does fall to get the trade onto this Ezreal. And now it's just Yuumi and Soraka. Yumi's pinging for help, but there is nobody around. The Soraka should be able to just chase down this Yuumi, get another kill. But, I mean, it's close. Zed is roaming down. Yuumi has the Q. Soraka,
I'm not actually thinking
that's
very worth.
Close and Yuumi gets out.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure if that is even a worth chase because you lost so much experience that you could have gotten on solo, right, on the Soraka, right? And it's not like enchanters scale bad with levels, right? You scale good with levels, and like still 1-for-1 at the end of the day. So I would think it was a very aggressive dive coming out, but at least they killed the Zeri. If the Zeri doesn't die there, then it's a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, Zeri getting the kill is kind of huge. I mean, like, you got to think, like, she was quarter HP, you know what I mean? Like, she should have had no reason to get that kill. But, like, I mean, getting a trade there is super good. But then if like you were talking about, lost some XP with that Soraka chasing the Yumi. I mean, everybody thinks that you can, once the person the Yumi's riding is dead, like, it's a free kill. That's not necessarily the case in this one. Huge wave here. Zeri shit coming back with the Berserker's Greaves. Belva invading this Udyr, but I don't think
Belva's gonna die
it's
here.
gonna happen the way that she thought it would. The flash coming out from both junglers, but the Udyr taking down the Belvat, the Zed taking down Diana, and now Seneca's like, hey, we're here. We got a sub mid laner, and we're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna keep fighting every inch to see if we can take this game too.
And it's definitely a better showing than in game 1, because now, like, the bottom has 2 kills. Yes, they're a little bit down CS, but the biggest difference right now is the jungle discrepancy. And what I'm seeing here is that Udyr has already hit level 6, Belvav is still level 5, and for Belvav, that's actually a crucial thing, because now you're missing on those world crabs, and you know that you probably have a 1-3-1 comp with the side of Zed and on the side of Mordekaiser. Well, we're seeing a little trade coming out on bot. It's not going to matter.
It's not. I mean, Ezreal with the Sheen is just like, if he can keep spamming these abilities from afar, he's gonna just chunk you out. You mean, like, Zeri, but with this Soraka, I mean, like, chunking out, it really doesn't do a whole bunch. But, I mean, Ezreal hitting 6 here is pretty huge. Maybe he can get a nice ultimate off, but he has a fat wave here. He's not gonna really waste ultimate too early. We do see the Diana down here. Possibly seeing if there could be a dive happening. She does have ult up, but she's got to go back to waves. She's got to go answer that wave from and help with this dragon as well. She doesn't really have the time to sit here.
Yeah, I think, like, there is a, like, if they don't do this drag, like, the Belvav is gonna fall further behind. And it's funny to me because, like, this Udyr is going Hex Flash, and I'm not sure if Udyr is actually going Tiger or Phoenix.
Coming out, and Zeri is just gone. The level advantage on 6 has just been so huge here. Ezreal getting this double kill. We're second straight game. We're seeing which team has Ezreal is just like, Ezreal is strong, guys. Like, he does a lot of damage. We do see this Belvav going in on this Ezreal, landing the knock up here, but Ezreal is able to just kite out and possibly kill this Belvav if they can trade. But Zed is on this Diana. Another solo kill for this Zed. I mean, in Udyr's top, they're looking for this Ornn on this next wave. I mean, possible, but Ornn is a little hard to kill sometimes, guys. We got to keep it a buck, give him some respect. But I mean, this Zed and Ezreal right now are, you don't want to fight them, but it's kind of hard because they get to kind of do what they want, you know. Zeri ultimate going in, ultimate coming out from the Zeri over the wall, trying to see if they can kill this Ezreal. The exhaust coming out from the Yumi onto this Zeri. Can they track down both barriers being used? The heal coming out, and Zeri is now really weak. Can she get away? She puts enough distance between her and Ezreal. The knockup coming up from the Belvav onto Ezreal. Does he have enough time to blink? He will not. And Ezreal Belvav gets the shutdown onto the Ezreal, onto this Yumi. A bunch of gold coming over to the Belvav, trying to tip the scales back into a neutral position between these junglers. Now Udyr, he's just a little bit too late. You know, Belvav got there first, was able to impact that fight and swing it in the side of Contingent Esports.
And that is definitely something that you want to see. They abused the timer where Ezreal didn't went base after the kills. So this is the only timer where they know they are
that is really strong here. I mean, he's going to pull off this dragon. Diana just going in on this Zed, forcing out the Raka ulti from side of Contingent. I mean, Udyr's walking forward, but the silence is so huge, he couldn't really do anything. He's just bursted down. Zed is able to get away. He does go towards this Raka, see if he can get the finishing kill. The Ignite did go onto her, but she might just live. 1 HP. Diana is just walking. She can't get away from this Ezreal. The ultimate does come out, but she is dead way before it finishes. I mean, this Ezreal is 5-2. Zed is 3-1. Neither of them died here. I mean, but here, he really can't do much once that silence is there. I mean, it's not allowed to walk up. But
yeah. Definitely. Like, you can't, and this is the thing with Udyr, you need to press your spells, because if you're not able to do this, right, you have to really time this with silences. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very hard to double E, and therefore he dies. Yes, they still get the dragon because Ezreal is coming as a reinforcement. But definitely, this game looks much, much better from the side of Seneca Esports, right? They have, like, clear conditions. Like, they're still outscaling on top side. In it only getting worse and worse and worse, and we said it, right? If Mordekaiser gets ahead, if Zed gets ahead, if Ezreal gets ahead, if Ezreal is allowed to poke,
Ultimate's coming out from both AD carries here. The Soraka is getting targeted by this Udyr. The burn will kill her. It's just Zeri, and without that Soraka healing, Zeri is kind of just meh. You know, she doesn't have the items yet that she does to do damage. It's Ezreal. He's a little strong. But Bel'Veth cross-mapping here on the side of Contingent Esports, trying to kill this Mordekaiser, but it doesn't. The Death Realm coming out, just the Orange, just the Mordekaiser. The knockout coming out right as the ultimate is about to expire from this Mordekaiser. Can they catch him? We do see the teleport coming in, but do they have the CC to do it? He just gets out. They used all their CC. I mean, he just gets out scot-free. They can't stop him, and they just don't have the damage right now to burst him before he leaves.
And that was kind of the great escape. Oh,
is that coming? Oh boy, that is weak. Can Bel'Veth get the trade kill here? Nope, but Udyr is gonna take a double kill, and that all that gold to Bel'Veth just like the tie. Get close as Udyr. Udyr is just right back in front with his double kill of his own.
And that is a disaster for Bel'Veth because you don't get like the Ward Grabs, which gives you the extended true form. And like Seneca is winning across the board. They're winning on bot. They dive bot between the towers. They're winning on top side. They I speak for 3 escaped the gang from top side as well. So they didn't even get the kill. It's very, very good from the side of Seneca into this game, and I would like to see them understanding, okay, we can play aggressive. Look at the item board, right? We see Lichbane on Diana, we see Kraken, and we see the Rukan on the top side right now, but we see Ezreal almost having Trinity Force, right? It's really, really, the item discrepancy is so huge, and you need to make sure that you're using that. So I want them to be up in the face of the enemy team, and why does it say that?
It's coming out from both mid lanes here, but Zed is under tower. Will he be able to finish the Diana? Doesn't look like it. Zed makes it out a little close here. I mean, Ezreal ulti coming out under that Diana. That Diana is 1 HP. Just has to walk away. I mean, Zed has a really good kill potential, even if Diana's under tower. But we're seeing scraps all across the map. But the Bel'Veth is down here. I mean, Soraka heal coming out, saving her. Bel'Veth trying to knock up his Ezreal, but has to flash just to survive. I mean, it's been a little bit of a fight fest here in this last couple of minutes, and all of it's going the side of the Seneca Esports. But they're still fighting in mid, and the flash coming up from Diana, but it's a little bit too late. The Ignite coming out from the Zed, finishing off. I mean, that's when the Ignite is most powerful, especially when you're up so much gold. You're just like, hey, I have an extra ability. You want to see it? And it's just kind of over. I mean, he's just at that point where Zed will 100 to 0 you like whenever you want, whenever he wants, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's not going to be better if you like Mocha or if you like Behavior.
Raka is getting bursted. Ezreal just... I'm sorry, but this Ezreal is so
Do
bad.
you know how this feels like to me? This feels like to me when you were in school and there was this kid that was bullying and everyone, and this is how like the bot lane is getting bullied this game, because like they cannot even walk up to their own turret. Like they're getting zoned, they're getting dove. Like it's very, very good by the side of Seneca Esports, and I like to see this. However, on the side of Contingent, you kind of have to ask yourself, how do you get back in this game? And this is something that feels the worst. If you play competitive games and you feel like you're behind and you see the objective bounties, then you know, okay, people, we are really, really far behind. And as we speak about this, it's more than 6k gold read at 14 minutes.
This is a really big, way bigger of a gold lead on the side of Seneca than Contingent had when they were in the lead. The ultimate coming out from Mordekaiser, the Death Realm, just to make sure that Orin's ulti doesn't hit. But can Bel'Veth get the kill before the ultimate expires? Yes, she can. She does get the knock up here on with the Orin. It's just Orin and Udyr here, but Udyr is just going to keep stunning, keep burning, see if he can take it down. But Orin does enough damage to scare this Udyr away. Ezreal, Yumi coming out, the Diana ult coming out as well. Ezreal blinks under tower, takes the tower shot, getting silenced, but he just does so much damage. The Zeri is here, the ultimate coming out. Can they kill this Ezreal? Not before he gets 2 kills with that barrier coming out. Looks like that Zed is going to be cleaning up. The Ezreal just 1v3'd. Got 2 kills. And then Zed gets another kill on top of that. Like, what? This is basically exactly what happened on the other side last game. Except they're doing it harder. And, you know, it's Ezreal this time that's bad, not a Xayah. Ezreal is like top 5 ADC, man. That you don't want to be giving him this goal.
And it's like 2 items, 10 kills at 15. And you see the confidence, like Sephiroth had to suffer last game, right? And this time it's like, oh no, stop the suffering. I'm gonna play my best. And it's really, really absurd because like if Yumi is oh my god, we don't
What's
get to
going on to
speak.
the Zed? We don't, because there's a bunch of action. Will the Zed fall before the Zeri? We get that question. Zeri does get the 700 gold shutdown onto the Zed. That's exactly what we want this gold on, but can they get any more? I mean, Ezreal is here, and immediately you see the Contingent run. They know once Ezreal's there, there's no more fight. There is no more fight happening.
See Ezreal run. We're not gonna take any of these fights, and it's especially cruel because you're getting kind of outscaled in the side lane, right? You're getting outscaled on top in the side lane. You're getting outscaled in the side lane mid, or like I don't think Diana has a chance of scaling anymore because of how far away
Ezreal is just going in. He sees Velvet on a camp. Yeah, no, that's not yours actually. It's mine. Ultimate coming out from Ezreal. The Yumi ult staying alive. I mean, Ezreal gets to do exactly what he wants. He's doing exactly what Zeri wanted to do. I mean, the Ornhorn coming out onto this Mordekaiser. Mordekai using the ult to just get away from it, negating that ultimate altogether, burning this Ornn down. The tower also falls, so Ornn has nowhere to go. Having to use this flash. Mordekaiser flashing behind him. Looks like Ornn will survive for now, but Mordekaiser just... Zed is here to clean up the kill yet again. See, this is what Zed likes. He likes chaos. He likes the consistent fighting, because then you can never pinpoint where he wants to be. He gets to go anywhere he wants. And on the side of Seneca, they are just continuing to fight, and it's working out.
Yeah, and for Seneca, they can just keep playing aggressive like this, and they should play aggressive like this. But again, we don't get to talk. There's a fight, another coming out. So
Ultimate coming out from Zed, trying to burst his Velvet down, flashes in, does end up dying here. The Velvet getting the Empower after that. Can they do anything against this Mordekaiser? I don't think so. He's just so tanky. He has almost his entire shield built up. Getting the poke from the Diana Q here. The Naka coming out to Velvet, but she is just suiciding to this Mordekaiser. I mean, Udyr using the Rift Herald here, trying to see if he can get anything. Uses it against the mid. Fake out onto the bot turret. Diana going in here onto this Ezreal, but he's so strong. He hits 1Q, and it's half your HP. Very, very strong. I think right now, Contingent are just grasping at straws, trying to see where they can get some gold. The knockup does not land from this Ornn. Udyr just gets to walk away.
This is it, right? It's only getting worse and worse and worse. And it kind of feels like they're playing in their faces so much. We don't get the time to talk. And it's like, we have 31 kills, 33 kills, my bad, at 18 minutes. So it's kind of rough for the side of Contingent Esports to really get back into the game, because you're facing the Ezreal who can permanently jump, who's getting back healed, and you don't even have enough damage to kill it, or you don't have the burst damage to kill the Ezreal, which is getting healed up by the Yumi shields and getting protected. And then you still have to deal with the Mordekaiser who can like say, I'm taking this one, I'm taking this one out of fight, I'm taking this one, and then there's a Yumi left, and there's Zeri left. And so for the side of Contingent, it's really, really hard to get back, because wherever you walk, there's a Zed coming.
Yeah. That ultimate, just to avoid the CC here, does get... Soraka does get healed here, and she does survive the Zed ultimate. Zed actually falling to the Zeri here. The knockup falling onto this Udyr, the Ornhorn coming in, but it's not even going to be needed. Velvet getting the shutdown onto this Udyr, right? Like, while these kills aren't, like, breaking the game, you know, and trying to, like, get them back into it, like, because they're so far behind right now, they matter because it's keeping Seneca Esports off their base. I mean, it's keeping them away from winning right now. Because you gotta think, what I talked about, 35 minutes, you really don't want to be facing Velvet, Horns, Zeri, Soraka, you know what I mean? They outscale. It's gonna take some time because they are down all this gold, but like eventually they will become the stronger team if they can just stall just a little bit longer, like 15 minutes longer. But like, who knows? It's possible.
Yeah, definitely. Like, they need like 15 minutes, and the difficult thing is that they need to have 15 minutes where they don't lose Nash.
Ornn here, we do see the silence coming up Soraka. He could not ult here. The knockup on the Velvet, but then they see Ezreal and they're like, okay, we're done. I like what they're doing. They're forcing Ezreal to move, right? He's going to every fight because he is the strongest, but he's not getting anything. You know, that's what you want. You want to waste Ezreal's time. I I mean, but now they just get this Baron, and I mean, Velvet can try to steal it, right? But they can't see this right now. This is Pink Warden. I mean, this is a free Baron for them, and they have enough damage to just burst it right in front of Contingent Esports.
Yeah, very beautiful execution, understanding, okay, the enemy team cannot really face check into us. They don't have vision, so we just grab the Nash, and now they can reset, and the Drake will be spawning in a couple of seconds. So make sure you get the third Drake, and then the question should be, the goal should be to just play for the top tier 2, cash that gold in, and then make sure that you just siege on the base. And this is sieging scenarios is what Ezreal loves, right? Ezreal has 3 items. You can just poke, shoot Q, and then it's going to be a very, very tough situation. And that's what we most likely going to see.
I do really like that. If we look at the itemization of Mordekaiser a little bit, like not seeing a Leandri's or any other type of burn item, we're actually seeing the Void Staff come in through. And I mean, makes sense. Ornn's built 2 items that have a good amount of MR. Mordekaiser's ultimate does not land. It does just out of range here. They do trade the Mordekaiser for that Ocean Drake. I mean, I don't know why you really can't contest the dragon with being down so much gold. So I mean, Mordekaiser is a simple solution. You want a cross map, but I mean, they're still stacking dragons. I mean, one more dragon and this game becomes very, very hard to play into with that Ocean gold.
Yeah, still, you have to understand that this is the only play that they could do, and that they're doing this shows that they're mentally still in this game. They want to win this game, and they just want to let it slide over. So this is definitely something that they could be doing more if they get the chance to, right? And now you see we have to wait for the Mordekaiser up, but I don't think...
Not landing here. I mean, he's going to get to that point. Once he gets to like a Heartsteel maybe, or a Warmogs, you know, like he'll get to where he needs to go. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I see maybe a Bramble. I think Bramble would be huge too. I mean, counteract that Zeri healing a little bit, but we'll have to see what Ornn's thinking. He's probably gonna build his plated. Man does not have his upgraded bootsies yet.
Yeah, it's not that necessary, right? You don't need C caps when you're playing against Mordekaiser because you don't really have value from it, right? So it makes a lot of sense not to building the boots. And for the site of Seneca, I like what they're doing. They're playing 2 lanes, right? They're keeping up the pressure, and I really like that how confident Sephiroth is, right? Like always in the enemy's face, like looking for cues and understanding. Okay, I have the opportunity to arcane shift out, and if I'm getting into really, really bad scenarios, then I can still flash out, and I will have the Yumi like healing and shielding me. So that's definitely good. And they're going for the siege onto the mid inhib while Mordekaiser is crashing in the top wave.
I mean, yeah, I mean, but what's more, I think just as important, you know, okay, we're gonna see a little bit of a fight happen real quick, possibly into this Mordekaiser, just clearing the wave, make sure you can't get it, but they're just immediately taking that bot side inhib. They're like, okay, you want to pay attention there? Yeah, this is gone now. We're taking this. Like they're just paying attention to what Contingent is doing, and just going to the opposite side of the map. They're making them make a choice, and then punishing them for it. I love it. But what Seneca is doing, I mean, I think along with his Ezreal that is just playing right up close, watch the supporting pieces around him. Like their spacing and what they're doing has been really important too. That Mordekaiser got blown up. You couldn't even cast that. You see the stuff go down, and then that's it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's like one shot basically, and this is kind of what they need to do, right? Whenever the enemy team is walking up the turrets, you just have to blow your own horn and hope that you just kill 1 or 2 people so you delay the sieges, right? However, this on ult is not on a very, very low cooldown. We see it on our screens chickens, it's already quarter done. So I think the next time they will be facing the situations, they have it up. And also Zeri now has 3 items, so we're getting into the department where it's can this maybe be a Zeri show? And the question is just, are they able to get 1 kill on Zat, maybe onto the Ezreal as well? I think Ezreal is going to be super hard to kill, but this is definitely where you have to aim at. Kill the Ezreal, get the reset for Wilveth, and play with Zeri and hope that she can take over the fight.
Straka getting stunned here. We do see the trying to get onto the Zed. The Zed ultimate coming through. Udyr killing the Soraka, but the Zed follows right after him. Felt like they're just going in. But Ezreal is still raining down damage here, and he is untouched. Big Diana ulti, 3-man Diana ults coming in. The Zanya is coming through next, but Ezreal is just firing down. And this looks devastating for the side of Contingent Esports. And Ornn is the last to go. He has the unstoppable, but Ezreal coming through with the triple kill here. Everybody's down for at least 12 seconds on the Soraka, and everybody else is down for 20 plus seconds. You would imagine that this is going to a game 3. 1 tower is down, 2, and we are going to a game 3. I mean, definitely, a lot of people wouldn't have expected that coming out of game 1, but game 2, Seneca just came back and said, hey, we are here. We deserve a place to stay, and we don't care if it's your first game or not. We're gonna fight you like we played you 4 or 5 times in a row. You know, we're not backing down.
Yeah, and I love to see that. You have to remember like what happened, right? We got into a draft, and then there was the emergency sub situation where you feel like, oh, most of the times they're mentally out, right? And maybe it might not be the best situation, but we saw from the get-go, they came to play and they wanted to win this game by sheer force, and they managed to do so.
No, definitely. And I think, like, while I did bring up Sparkplug and talking about how Zed might have been it wasn't Zed, but they definitely had a Sparkplug, all right, and it was that Ezreal. I mean, Ezreal, Yumi, from the get-go, it looked reminiscent of what the Xayah Rakan did in game 1. You know what I mean? Just like, they got 2 kills, they got the double kill, and then eventually, they just kept getting double kill after double kill and kill after kill onto this Ezreal. And they just go, okay, y'all, give Ezreal our gold. Give Ezreal our gold. And if he doesn't kill him, Zed's like, oh, yep, thank you. I'll take the scrap. And it didn't matter. Like, they just had so much damage that the comp that Contingent wanted to do was unplayable. Like, I mean, they couldn't scale. They couldn't engage. I mean, just well across the board, good job on the side of Seneca. I mean, the use of ultimates, like everything. They just played exactly what they wanted to do to perfection. And showed, hey, game 1 was a fluke. So maybe game 3 we will actually see a different draft. You know, coming out from both teams, you would imagine.
Definitely, you have to go back to the drawing board and understand, okay, what do we actually want to do? And it seems to be that Ezreal is going to be a much contested pick. I assume that we're going to see similar bans, right? The question is just, is red side? And it seems to me that I'm not sure how the side selection is. I could see that Contingent could be going to red side again, right? And that would mean that is. But I think the best thing that you can do is from Seneca Esports, okay, or the side that just lost, you should be switching up something, right? You don't want to play 3 games on the same side, right? You lost 1, you won 1. You want to get a different dynamics, and I think switching over to blue side for Contingent Esports is, I think, the way to go, because then you get to choose, right? If they don't ban Zyra, Ezreal, and like, I don't know, the third one, then you always get one of these 2 power picks that you want to collect. And that's, I think, a valid strategy that you can run. And this is where my eyes is already at. What are the bans going to look like? Because now we have a switcheroo of the sides.
No, definitely. I mean, looks like we're going to actually have a switch of the lineup for the side of Seneca, actually. So Howard is back. The mid laner from the first game, he's back in the lineup. But Ladaze is staying in. We have Ladaze in the top lane, Terraris in the jungle, Howard, Sephiroth, and I speak for the tree. I mean, they're subbing out their support. They're bringing in, I think that is their mid laner, I believe. Tree was the mid laner. No. Am I confused? I'm confused. I think he was their top. But anyway, new lineup. I mean, I'm surprised a little bit. I mean, because the last game went so well. But I mean, hey, it gives an enemy team 5 minutes to scout. You know, kind of see. Okay, look, 5 minutes more to talk about what happened last game and how we're gonna make sure it doesn't happen again. You know, and what we can do to improve and keep our mental calm. I think definitely important.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope that they recognize, like, 2 games in a row, Terraris has done the same pathing. I just need them to understand, okay, we need to make sure that our bot lane wards the entrances of the jungle, level 1, because we don't want this level lead to accrue again. And this is kind of like where you see like the discrepancy in knowledge, I would say, where you feel like, okay, yes, Taras is knowing what he's doing and he is knowing how to abuse the enemy jungler. And that's very beautiful to see too. Yeah, that's his knowledge coming out. So for the side of Contingent, they really have to make sure that this is not happening again, because what I can see, if this is happening again, then you already, like from the get-go, from the first player, your jungler is behind, and you do not want to end up in this sort of situation.
So it does look like Seneca is going to be taking the red side, at least from the lineup in the lobby. If we're going to take that as, you know, like as it is, like team 2, red side, Ladaze, Terraris, Howard, Sephiroth, they're taking that red side. So you would assume maybe they're going to ban Ezreal instead of that Zyra. Because, I mean, Zyra wasn't insane, right? But she is that AP jungler. She is easy to take objectives. And, I mean, Sherry was really good on it game 1. I mean, to be helpful, like getting her team ahead, you know, providing that CC, that damage. So maybe the Zyra state, I don't know. But I would assume Ezreal is going to be banned if you're picking red side. I mean, if you're not going to pick it first, you should always make sure the enemy team doesn't get the take.
Yeah, I think letting Ezreal through, especially the way that he has now in this series, might not be the best thing to do. So I think the best thing to do is just removing that side if you're red side and making sure, okay, do you want to give over the Zara? No, not really. So we also ban that as well. So these are the 2 bans that I feel like should be locked. If they are not locked, and this is the other approach you can do, you can say, okay, we are fine with trading. If you want Ezreal, we will get Zyra, but you will not get both. So this could also be an option that they're trying to look at.
We also might just see some total different AD carries altogether. You know what I mean? I mean, we haven't seen a Jinx yet. We haven't seen, you know, Caitlyn. You know what I mean? There's a lot of options. Lucian. You know, we saw the Zeri, you know, like that one of those AD carries that could be flex both mid and bot, you know. I mean, there's a lot of characters that are still really good that we haven't seen yet that I'm wondering if are in the back pocket. You know, I'm thinking of that Silas ban. You know what I mean? Maybe we switch up the Silas ban here. I mean, he is back. You know what I mean? He can play the Silas. That's his like #1 champ, right? But I mean, since they're on blue side, they don't have to ban the Ezreal. Maybe Silas is the move. But you would imagine that maybe the top 3 bans, we might see a shift besides just the Ezreal. I mean, maybe the Zed, you know, just bans that out. I mean, maybe it's just like, we can't, with all this chaos that's happening and we want to fight, Zed is just so, he can move anywhere he wants and he does a lot of burst damage. Maybe we're just not comfortable with fighting that. You know what I mean? I mean, one team's banning 2 junglers early on a Silas, the other team banned Zyra and 2 supports. You know what I mean? So, I'm wondering if one of the, like one jungler or maybe one support's going to take out, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Lulu or Leona can be just, you could pick one of those champs. And I think and then just not ban the other one, you know? So I'm wondering, I'm thinking like, why not just ban Leona, pick Lulu or whatever, pick Lulu, let Leona through, you know what I mean? Cause like Lulu and Leona, like they got their own strengths. If they want to keep going the Enchanter route, Lulu is a good option. But we'll have to see. I mean, with this new lineup, I wonder what the draft is going to look like now. I mean, Ladaze is in his natural role now. I mean, I'm going to pull up their op.gg. I want to like kind of dive into it a little more here. We got the time. We'll have to see here, but I believe he plays a little bit. I saw some Yone. We did see the Zed, but I don't think he's going to play that top. Here we should be getting in the draft very shortly in the next couple of minutes. I mean, he plays like the range top laners, like the Jaces, the Vaynes, you know, Fiora, right? Maybe we see an AD carry top. I mean, Varus top has become very prevalent as well, and it's definitely doable if they want to continue to play that tank style, you know, on the side of Contingent. I mean, if they pick Warden again, you just pick Varus and you go, hey, what's up? You want to see my percentage health damage? You know, and Varus is like my favorite AD carry to watch because he just does things. He can do objectives like crazy fast. And he can be played 3 roles. So I mean, mid Varus is not as good as it used to be, you know, with the AP stuff, but still possible.
There's other builds that you can do on Varus, right? There's like a Bruiser build, there's like the AD build, right? You could still go like lethality. However, like it gives you a lot of flexibility.
Okay, we're gonna go for a quick break before this draft. Get some water, get something to eat, maybe use the restroom, whatever you gotta do for this game 3. We will be right back for the draft.
É desse jeito, é desse jeito. Só leva chifre quem não faz amor direito. É desse jeito, é desse jeito. Só leva chifre quem não faz amor direito. Só leva.
Okay, we will be in draft soon, but we are back. Draft is going to happen very, very shortly. I mean, is there anything that you've got your eye on besides the Ezreal? I mean, like that these teams should do. I mean, now that we got 2 games in, like that maybe they need to pick or maybe they need to ban. I mean, besides gameplay.
I think Ezreal Zyra is definitely on my list. I think you could argue to. I don't think Zeri is going to be that banned. I think Zeri can be picked as well. And I think you just need to come in with the strategy and say, okay, like we want to have something that's easy to execute that gives us lane pressure, especially in bot, because we have seen that the bot lane that has more lane pressure will just take over the game. So that should be the name of the game. Make sure that you have a good bot lane matchup and make sure that you're not giving Ezreal and Zyra over.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm trying to see this draft though. I know it hasn't started yet. I'm trying to get in there. Yeah, I keep clicking on the little streamer we got and it's not letting me see. There we go. But I'm in there. I'm ready. I'm so excited. But no, I agree. Ezreal, Zyra comes to mind. I mean, anything that at that point, you just like, these teams need to pick a comp and then just ban what they think is going to screw up what they're trying to do. I think they're getting into a lot of like, let's ban their comfortable champs and then we're going to see what happens. But a lot of times you really don't even have to do that. You know what I mean? Like their comfortable champs might not even fit into their comp. You mean? So I think what these teams need to be looking at is like, okay, yeah, they play that, but does that even look good here? You know what I mean? Try to get in the mind of the enemy team a little bit. But we are seeing the same bans, Briar and Fiddlesticks and Silas. They're keeping it the same. They're like, we don't want to play against those champs. They're annoying. And
Yeah, you
same
need to
as Seneca. Like,
Ezreal. You need to first pick Ezreal
you
here.
first pick Ezreal. Yep. Nope. There is no question. That champ is going to be picked. I mean, we do see Aurora in there, but she's not available until next week, I think. But maybe next week or the week after that. Next week, she'll be able to be playable, but not today. So she's not even there. I can't even see her anymore. I mean, definitely. I mean, look, I don't see her in my games because she is banned perma. But you know, good because any range top laner is crazy. The Lucian, see, I'm telling you, like that the champ needed to be picked. I feel like I was surprised it wasn't picked last game. I mean, this could be a Ezreal Lucian mid, like you were saying, match it up. Like if 80 for AD, keep it simple. I mean, definitely what Seneca is looking for here.
Yeah, I think Seneca has a good understanding, right? And I think it's now this is I think the first game where I would say, okay, draft really is deciding or key factor, and they're going with the pick potential. And now this is just a question: is the solution going to be mid or top? Mid in some
Top,
cases.
Imagine.
Yeah, there was like the famous who was it? I think it was Hooney.
Probably
where
him.
he played. It was into GP, right? That used to be a soft counter matchup, but I don't think we will see that matchup specifically. But as you said,
so,
right?
Yeah.
This
Morgana picked here. This could be a jungle. Morgana. I mean, AP jungler. I mean, definitely up what Cherry was doing in the first game. I mean, like just playing an AP jungler, but this time with a not instead of like an engaged damage kind of thing. It's more of like, okay, I'm gonna try to keep Ezreal safe, and he's gonna win the game for us. I mean, very good pick into the Vi. It could still be flex bot. It kind of keeps Seneca away from picking a tank engage here as their support. So we might see an enchanter like Emilio possibly, or the Yumi again. I mean, definitely possible. And the Cassante, moving away from the Ornn, he's like, hey, look, we won with the Cassante last time. You played weak side for us. You did great. You had a little bit. I mean, that's a counter matchup, but could we see the Garen again here? Is the question.
I think Garen is the solution. Like you can go if you want to go like Renekton, you can go Renekton, you can go Twisted Fate. And this time there's a difference between if you now get Gwen or Camille, they will not be banned in second phase, which changes up the complete draft. So I'm questioning what do we see here. I think the easiest choice, like is Garen.
Emilio being picked here. See, I mean, because they don't know. They don't know if this Morgana is going to be bot. Morgana Ezreal bot would be an interesting pairing for sure. But I mean, Lucian Emilio, very, very strong lane bully duo. I mean, if you want to throw it bot, I mean, with the extra range that Emilio provides and the healing, he has crazy healing here. I mean, definitely, and the cleanse. I mean, definitely counteracts what Morgana is trying to do with all of her roots and CCs. He's just like, okay, I'll wait for the ult to expire. I'm gonna press mine, and everybody's back. You know, I like that pick there for Seneca.
And when Milia came out, this was one of the most prevalent bot lanes, and Milia got nerfed into the ground so hard that it wasn't really like that playable anymore. But it's like very, very, you need to be careful. If you do a misstep, then Lucian's combo is gonna come out, and he gets additional range through the W. And now looking into bans, we see from Seneca Esports that I don't really understand the Nami ban. I understand the Braum ban, right? Ezreal Braum is a very defensive matchup, and you don't really lose lanes. You're just there to neutralize, which is good. And I think they're locking in actually the Cassiopeia, which
Cassio I like. I mean, she's off meta enough, but she's really good into like almost every AD like mid. I mean, she has the ground that keeps them like stable, and they want to fight forward. And she's like, "Yeah, I welcome that. I'm gonna ult in your face, and then drop a ground, and then where you? I have the slow burn. Like she places so well against the 80s meta specifically.
Yeah, and it's also like a soft counter to Lucian, right? This is specifically picked into Lucian. So I'm thinking right now, my head is that this Lucian is going to go into the mid lane and not into bot, which then barks the question, is this going to be like a Emilio plus hyper carry draft? And then you have like the double AD comp, plus like engage, and then all you just need is like another front line and tank on top. That is going to be having a matchup that is able to neutralize.
The Fiora
So-
blind here out of Seneca, giving their kind of trying to keep that Lucian, like if he's going bot or mid, like that bluff alive, you know, trying to keep that flex alive. Be like, hey, you're gonna have to guess now if Lucian's going bot or mid. And to be honest, I think you just throw Ezreal mid regardless. I think you pick an AD carry here that you're comfortable with Lucian against Lucian. You know, like maybe you could go Kate Morg if you wanted to, if you still want to flex Morg into the support role. Definitely don't now with the Rel. I mean, you could go like an MF here, you know, like a burst damage mid, AD carry, you know, something that wants to pair well with the CC that Rel has. I mean, lots of options here, but I think you throw Ezreal mid. I think it makes the most sense. He can play safe. It matches Lucian. It matches anything that they're really gonna throw at them besides maybe Zed. Zed might be a problem. But the Kai'Sa here. I mean, Kai'Sa also very high value. I mean, you can flex both of them based on what that Seneca picks here. I think that makes a lot of sense as well.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be the Ezreal mid, and I like the Fiora. It's basically calling them out and saying, okay, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm gonna win. And like Fiora is one of those champs that she naturally outscales tanks so hard because of her passive that does true damage with the vitals. And I think it's there. This is the Vex. Do you see a Vex on the screen as well?
Good. Yes, Vex is the pick here, it looks like. I mean, Vex into this comp is kind of nasty. I mean, you got the Ezreal blink, you have Kai'Sa dash, Cassante dash, Rel. I mean, Morgana only has one spell shield. So, I mean, she can only block Vi ult or Vex ult. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to pick one.
And that's the thing. You have to pick one, and then if you get the reset on the Vex R, then it's going to be very, very painful. So what I'm seeing here in this on the side of Seneca Esports, they've drafted themselves a pick comp with like the Vex and the Vi, and at the same time they have drafted themselves a winning top lane side lane, which will get worse and worse and worse the longer the game goes, because we all have seen Free split pushing into our game, right? And currently the meta is like you don't really continue to split push, you just use that pressure that you get to create an you create a numbers advantage on the other side of the map. So this is where my head is at, and I have to say I like Seneca's draft a little bit more, but it's like a bit harder to execute because everyone has to understand what their job is and everyone has to play the map once Fiora is split pushing in a very good way.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, they also, what I like about them is they have multiple options of how they want to play it. I mean, with the Vex, with the Lucian, with the Milio, you have really great disengage. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, hey, I don't want to fight right now. I'm going to hit one ability and I'm out. But they also have really great dive potential, really great pick potential with that Vex ultimate, with the culling off the Lucian, and with the Vi ultimate as well. I mean, they get to choose what they want to do, and I think that makes them a little more dangerous. So I might side with you as well on Seneca's draft. Very, very good, but you got to execute it, and you have to be on the same page. I mean, but on the side of Orange, you know what I mean? Like, you have that Ezreal, that prio pick. Now you have to see, okay, look, it's been good the last 2 games. Whoever has it, right? Can we make that game 3 go the same exact way? And if not, why did we prio it so much if we felt like we can't? They wouldn't have picked it if they don't feel like they could have, like, they're not going to smurf on it. So hopefully it goes their way is what they're thinking. Like, we have 280 carries. Okay, we're in the meta now. Like, we need to win. We need to put our foot on gas pedal like game 1 and never let go. So we'll have to see how well they execute, I think, is the more important thing.
Yeah, as you said it, right? It's definitely has to do with the execution. I feel like if we are able to keep doing this, like if they're able to manage the numbers advantage, and if they're able to get into a situation where they have these items, they could theoretically also run a double perk composition where you go like Kai'Sa, the AP Kai'Sa build with like Mana Immune into, what was it Ludens and then Void Stuff? Yeah, or Crypto Gloom. So you could go that, and there's not much really sustain on the enemy team. So if that's a double pokes lineup, just imagine this scenario. You sit in front of Derek, and you have to walk through Kai'Sa and W's and through Ezreal's Q's. So I'm not sure if that's the thing that you want to do, because if this is going to happen, you're going to be in a very, very, very tough situation.
Yeah, definitely. I like the idea of the double poke. I think that's something I wasn't really thinking about. One thing I am thinking about before, we get into this game 3 is I think how important it is already to get vision. You have to get vision on blue side now. Like, you don't want to fight in the jungle against a Vivac solution. And
Yeah.
like Morgana, like, is already, like, she has spell shield, she has Q, she has a lot of ways of getting away, or at least not getting stuck in one place. If she doesn't get vision, they will lose that fight. I mean, you have the bind off vision, but that's like Vivex is a little scarier, I think, if you don't have vision. But we will see how it happens, though. But we're going to take our last break of the series, and we'll be back for Game 3 on Summoner's Rift.
Gave you all that I could give, but it wasn't enough. Oh, tried to show me how to live when I was numb. And why did I never listen when you would listen to me and make the wrong decisions, resisting the help I need? Oh, I know I could have done better. Oh, to keep you next to me. They say to blame it on the weather. Oh, hell no. I could have done better. 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 I could have done better.
Tried to give the best of it, but it was coming undone. Oh, every choice filled with regret, till the night we were done. So sick and tired of trying to listen, but feeling so misunderstood. Every word and action misfigured, by promises no good.
And why did I never listen when you would listen to me and make the wrong decisions, resisting the help I need? Oh, I know I could have done better. Oh, to keep you next to me. They say to blame it on the weather. Oh, hell no. I could have done
I've been in and out my mind since I hit your phone. I've been counting up the times that I did you wrong. I just want you by my side when I get real gone. Feel it's been a little while since we got along. Yeah, we've been playing stupid games, the situation rotates. And they say communication, safe relations, okay. Medicated how I'm patient, wasting time ain't the way. Cause I can see it on your face. Up in time.
Game 3, third different lineup for Seneca. Different sides, different champions, maybe a couple similar ones. But anyways, none of that's important because we're back. We're back. The series is split 1-1. This is the rubber match. Seeing who wins this takes it. I mean, honestly, can't write a better story. 2 stomps, 1 on each side. You know what I mean? Mental is pretty locked in, I'm pretty sure, for both of these teams.
For sure, right? You see that there's a chance of them winning this series, and especially like if you would just watch it those in the games individually, you wouldn't really think that we are in this situation right now, right? And I want to speak about Milio a little bit because he has recently been buffed, and what it does right now, that if you use the Ultra Fire Kickball, I think that's how the ability is called, right? You get the like 50% of respawn, and normally that would mean you only have one. You can see like how he's playing like a bully, like it's so crazy, right? And it's not how it used to be.
You already see an invade here on the Fiora, on this Morgana, pushing her off her blue buff, making Cassandra come down here. Will she get punished for this is the question. I mean, Morgana's starting pool, I mean, for her clear. Does she prioritize this clear or this Fiora? I mean, Fiora just gets away, being able to dash over this wall. And she's staying. She's just being a pest on this Morgana, making Morgana have to start on her wolves. Instead, while Vaya's just already gotten level 2 off their red.
And it seems to be that, like, I'm not sure who is calling this, but there is the name of the game where they understand, okay, we need to make sure that we are not letting Cherry clear normally, right? This is the 3rd time, and now it's just like, oh, yeah, I don't have smite. My whole top side is gone again, right? And this needs to be feeling over. And at the same time, you see that on the side of Seneca, not Seneca, Contingent, they have the bot push, right? And
level 2 coming out of the Fiora here. We do see the ghost, but the parry comes in from the Fiora, getting that first blood. And she has Cole, man. Like the jump out of Mocha. What happened?
This is just like a thing that happens. What you do on Rel, right? You want to be off the horse, because then when you press your W again, you get like movement speed, and you kind of get like a small knock up. So this is a Rel specific thing. It looked a bit troll, but it's.
No, I was like, wait, like is that the plan? Like,
yeah, it's
we
a
do
plan.
see the level 3. Contact just hit level 2. Pure is already level 3. Like that wave is massive right now. Like, he does get the cannon, but now Fiora's like, okay, I'm gonna try to get my grasp here. I mean, the Unstoppable coming out. One more second. If Casante was somehow able to bump Fiora into like tower range, holy. I love top lane matchups like this, like skirmishers that like just want to keep scrapping. So we'll have to see how it goes. The double longsword refillable buy off first back from that first one.
Yeah, that's huge, because there's also like no teleport for Cassandra. Cassandra's pieces already like half HP, and we just saw how the Days was like kind of like putting on the dancing shoes and making sure that Cassandra has a very, very tough time into this matchup. And this is only getting worse and worse and worse. You can see it like, oh, the camera pans over and already Cassandra half HP.
Yeah. Definitely see the scrap. You see both junglers are on the bot side of this map, but Morgana's here first. The spell shield coming out onto the rail, forcing the flash out of this Lucian. Now they're poking down this Milio. He is really weak, but he's able to get out of it. Vi is now here, and they didn't know until now, but now we see the flash coming out into the Kaisa. The Rel going in, trying to see if they can get something else, but the Rel does fall to this Lucian as well. Morgana is the last one left. She was the first jungler here, but she's also going to be the first jungler to not die. I got you, all of you. Y'all thought I was going to say die, didn't you? Anyway, but this back to the Xante. He's getting beat up, guys. To be real, the next idol goes down, and he is down. The 2-0 Fiora gonna crash this wave. I mean, Casante doesn't even have TP. He has to walk back. He actually has the wave in a decent spot right here. I don't believe it's freezable. But we'll have to see when it pans back up here. The Vex already on a 7 CS lead onto this Ezreal. I mean, very, very good start for the Vex. I mean, the first 3 levels are pretty pivotal when it comes to her lane presence and how her game's going to go overall. Not letting this AD carry just auto-shove her the entire time. So it's very calming for the side of Seneca because, like, if you don't have to deal with mid lane as a jungle, then you only have to choose between top and bot, and your mid lane's like, I'm good. Don't gank me. Just leave me alone. You know what I mean? I don't want anything. It makes your job so much easier, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. It makes the job easier because you get more freedom, and whenever you are allowed to just farm your camps and you don't have to like fix lane states, it's very good. But
Ultimately,
this is
coming
going
out
to be
from
lonely.
the Fiora, the 2 level, he's playing next to that wall, but it's just, I don't think he'll have enough. He has not enough HP to combat this Fiora with no ultimate, no all out. He's on an island. Top lane, the play safe top is not possible right now.
Yeah, and it's also like normally you get like level 6 on the 530 wave, which is the 3rd canyon wave. And I'm not sure if Peels was aware of like, okay, I'm so under level that Fiora's gonna hit 6, I'm 4. And we see the trade coming on bot.
Trade Rel going in onto this Lucian. He is low, but the barrier coming out, but Kai'Sa doesn't have enough damage. Lucian's passive is just out damaging this Kai'Sa passive right now. He's just very stronger with that BF sword, and he takes down the Rel, but the Milio getting the kill. The Ezreal ult coming out barely misses from Alternative. I mean, very, very close, but just not enough. That Lucian was so low. Like, very, very low, but with the Milio healing, Biscuits, and the barrier, it just, like, there's so much, like, sustain coming from the side of that bot lane right now, and it's showing.
It's definitely hard to ensure a kill there. And what we see is, like, the team that is, like, kind of stomping lane is going ahead into mid game and is taking over the game. So what I'm not hoping here is that this is the name of the game. I want excitement. I want to have a good League of Legends match. And currently it looks like very one-sided. Like if you just look at the goal graph, then you say, oh my God, this is not the greatest.
No, I mean, definitely, like, they've definitely dug themselves a hole down 4,000 gold already on the side of Contingent. I mean, definitely, we're looking to see it. Can they bring back the magic they had in game 1? I mean, it doesn't seem to be that way. We do see Vi on the top side of the map right now in enemy's buff already. Second time visit here for the Vi. I mean, possibly with the way Fiora is shoving waves under, they possibly looking for a dive. But I mean, with him having ultimate, I don't feel like they want to. But I mean, he's like 10% HP almost. Like, man, he's not a champion right now. You know what I mean? He is a big minion.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to be a big minion until he has 2 items. And then the question is how many...
the Fiora, can she kill him before this tower kills her? And yes, that ultimate got proc so quick. So quick.
This is so rough. This is so rough for PLs like because not only... Yeah, it feels like, and you're on the receiving end. It's only getting worse and worse and worse. We talked about it in the draft. This is a matchup where you get outscared in the side lane for sure. And being outscared at 8 minutes is already like, I don't think these words should exist in combination. Outscared at 8 minutes.
Coming. Can you get this trade on this floor? The ghost coming out from Casante, unstoppable, beating that, getting him a shutdown. Okay. Now Casante's like, okay, look. I may be down, but I'm not going down without a fight. I'm going to all out. I'm going to get my shutdown, and I'm going to try to get my game started. But the thing is, you have a lot of ground to catch up, like Gator was just talking about. You know what I mean? He's already outscaled it 9 minutes. You know what I mean? And it's kind of hard to beat a scaling champion unless you are just hard winning the rest of the way. So we'll have to see what he does there. It's like we're seeing a little bit of a bait, possibly this Morgana hitting something on the Lucian. The stun coming out on the Lucian, the flash, the Milio ultimate coming out, Kai'Sa ulting down onto that Lucian, but the Morgana getting the shutdown. Will they be able to catch Milio? But it looks like he should be able to knock them away. Ezreal is here, the Vi going in. Vex ult coming out, but we do see the ultimate under tower, but does she survive? It looks like she doesn't take a second tower shot, so she does live. but they're just pushing this Milio off wave. The Q bind does hit. The first strike is being applied, and the Kaiser W coming out, getting the kill on this Milio, securing the double kill. I mean, not officially, but we all know it's a double kill in our hearts.
Yeah, and this is good what they're doing, right? They're shrinking the world lead step by step by step. Yes, Fiora has like thrown away a bit of gold, right? She just donated some gold to the Cassandra to have like an even fighting spot or like fighting footer. So for me, it's super interesting to see how is this game going to develop. And my question is, are we going to contest the next Grabs? Are we going to contest the next Herald? And how is the bot lane situation going to evolve over the course of the game? Because now we see one item on Vex, one item on Lucian, and it's not going to take a long time until Fiora also reaches their first item.
But I like the fact that they're not just like trying like normal ways to try to get back. You know what I mean? We're seeing baits happen, and Morgana is behind bot lane. You know what I mean? Like just waiting for something, waiting for this aggression to occur, and just capitalizing on it. You know what I mean? Not from behind their bot lane, but like we know you're gonna dive us, but you're gonna die under our tower. You know, liking the difference in ganks. I think it's important. And I also like this Cassandra buying Bramble plated first too. I think it's very helpful. I mean, Fiora likes to heal, she likes to auto. I mean, the Bramble has a lot of value here. But we do see
For
the
sure.
fight going in on the bot lane here. I mean, 3v2 doesn't look good. They're just getting pushed off this entire tower. It only has one plate left. I mean, on all of the towers, they're all pretty weak. Vi is sticking around, trying to see if this bot lane is like gonna push up, because if they go back to the tower, Vi is already inching back in. You see it. They're not allowed to touch this tower. The sun coming out, Kaisa Q. We do see the Vi coming in. The route going all in on this Vi. She almost dies to the tower, but the Milio ult saving her. All out coming from the Cassandra here. We do see the ultimate as well coming from the Fiora, but he's hugging that wall. She does get the kill on the Cassandra, but Morgana instantly trades it back. And that's not really... While that Fiora is very strong, she is now... You just seen her buy Ravenous Hydra. You thought that healing was bad then. It's way worse now.
For sure. And yes, it was a one-on-one trade, but Morgana gets the kill. And this doesn't really change the matchup on top lane. And also, speaking about the Morgana, Cherry is kind of 6 camps down right now. You can see it at the jungle pets timer, like at the items. So for me, it's like, keep playing through that illusion. Keep understanding, okay, I'm just going to walk into the lane where the Lucian is, and we're going to make space for the Lucian to hit turrets and play the objectives. And it seems like Hardbound X is building into Kraken Slayer. I'm not sure if Lucian is going Kraken Slayer. I normally go Kraken Slayer Essence Weaver. This is like the normal build. Some people like Navori, but I think this is definitely how the game is going to develop. We have Fiora playing side lane, and you can see like Fiora doesn't really care about trades. She will just heal up on the next win wave. And this is the difference between these tank matchups versus like Camille, Fiora. And the only thing that you need to do is like make sure that you don't get pulled into the turret on the top side, and then you will just make sure that you, by time, you will down the turret and you will get it eventually.
See the Morgana here. I mean, she did complete her first item. We have first items now on the Ezreal, Kaisa, and the Morgana. What makes like Kaisa really good though, I mean, even though she is behind, she can really build cheap items and she'll be effective in using them. So while she is down, she might have the best chance of like getting back into this game a little bit. I mean, with being like using those cheap items to not have to spend as much gold, but be on the same item eventually.
Yeah, I would say so as well. And currently, we are kind of a bit of a slow phase, I would say, a bit of a lull state where we just see that Terraris is like invading for the red buff, is just trying to take away as much resources as possible. And the next objectives that are currently spawning is like the Rift Tower, which has already spawned, and then it's going to have a Hextech Drake, and we are on a Hextech map. And if you want to talk about Drakes, the most important soul, the strongest soul, is probably Hextech Soul, because you slow people on a spell or order tech, which is the most ridiculous thing that ever has existed.
No, definitely. I mean, I like how every player right now on Seneca is just playing with such confidence. You can see it in their movement. I mean, like even before they had gold. You know what I mean? They're just fighting every fight like they're gonna win. Oh, the flash coming out to dodge the Rel engage, but the Morgana bind does land. Morgana getting both of those kills, even after the Ezreal, even after Rel engage. I mean, she is 4-0 Morgana, but how far does Morgana really scale? You know, I mean, talked about it. Morgana getting these kills really doesn't change the state of what the lanes are looking. You know what I mean? Like, Vi is still going to be useful, even though she's 1-0 in comparison to Morgana's 4-2.
And like at the end of the day, as you said, Vi is going to be useful. And the question is just like, I would love to see the skilling order from Morgana, because I'm like right now you level 9, and level 9 is usually the first time when you max one spell. And if it's like that she went W max, and then you're gonna come into a situation with the Eve that we mentioned in the draft scenario in the loading screen earlier. So if I had to pinpoint what's the job right now, what they want to do is make sure that they like stall on this on the site and get picks, basically like create picks with baby Rel and Morgana. You can catch somebody off, and on this other side it's just like making sure that Fiora gets to progress and making sure that Lucian is getting like second item, which she now has completed, and you look to fight around these spikes. This is the timing where you want to like look for something, because if you get an ult right now off, like let's say you're looking for Vi ult, you will have it back up for the next Drake, which means it's not gonna matter, and you potentially even blow some sums. So that's what I want to see right now, and let's see how they're going to play out those next few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they're just overloading this top side. I mean, like, but I like what the vision. You could see the vision battle happening. I mean, the blue wards, they have like a really distinct line behind where mid river would be. I mean, they can't really touch mid river if they can't. They want to push those waves up. The only way they're able to do that is if they have the vision they have now, where it's like, okay, we're able to walk up to at least where the waves are going to crash into each other, but you see nothing else. But then you on the other side of like what Seneca has, they have wards like right next to them. I mean, like as far in as they can get, and every time they take a tower, they are just continuing to keep that vision battle alive. And they're just that's when one of the things I talked about is like if Contingent can't win the vision battle, I mean, it's going to be very hard to play into this team. And right now, Seneca is doing such a great job of controlling what they're able to see. We do see a little bit of engage here. We do see the ball come out. The bowling coming out of the Lucian. A lot of damage coming down. Vi ultimate coming out. Having that being forced out of the Vi. She still has a lot of movement, but this Rel is very weak. The Lucian is going to... The Rel going back in here. Ultimate coming in onto the Lucian with Emilio out to counteract it. Sante's here. They're trying to shut down this Lucian, but the barrier coming through. Getting that double kill before he's inevitably shut down by this Kaisa. I mean... A 2 for... You use so much utility there just to kill Lucian, and he ends up getting 2 kills off of it. First throw charge here on this first turn. Might be able to get a second one here. They're just like, hey, we're going to take our base. You know, we have 3 grubs here. Fear coming in onto the Sasante, and they're just chasing them down under this turret. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Fiora heals up so much. Rel engaging onto this Fiora, but she's just smacking everybody. They're going to try to chase her here, see if they can kill her. I mean, the Vex ult coming out. It hits the Rel. Big 3-man fear here. Just saves this Fiora from the massacre that she was about to commit and giving that shutdown down over to the side of Contingent.
And you just saw the potential of the Vex. You just saw what could happen if you get the ultimate on someone who's very, very squishy, and then you get the AoE with the fear. And this is kind of what we haven't seen so far, or like the integration of Howard right now. So that's what I'm looking for.
Ezreal coming in here. Vi does get the smite off. She does get that dragon. Ezreal trying to steal with an admirable attempt, but he does fall. Fiora is still splitting top. This is a 3v4 fight now. Lucian is very weak, but can he get the Kai'Sa before he falls? Yes, he can. The AD carries trade, but the Rel is weak, and the Vex will clean that up. It's just Morgana. The Vine does land onto the Amelia, but he will be fine. He's going to heal up eventually. The dragon is secured. And it is a 3-4-1 on the side of Seneca.
Yeah, and it's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher, right? it's not gonna like the Lucian's gonna fall off that hard. Even if the Lucian's gonna fall off, you have to face the Fiora, and we have seen how far ahead the Fiora was already in this early stages of the game, and she can just like take over bot. And then this is what I want to see. I want like the days to go bot, make sure that the whole team is resetting, make sure that they have vision on the Nash, make sure that they're denying the vision game, and once they're done that, they can just start using the pressure that the days will create inside lane in order to leverage that into a Baron.
No, definitely. I mean, it's like, where do you even find a weak point in this team right now? You know, like 3 of these players have shutdowns. 2 of them haven't died yet. You know, almost all of them are on 2 items, even including the support. You know, I mean, their support has 2 items, and Constante hasn't finished his second one yet. Neither has Morg, neither has Ezreal. Nobody on the side of Contingent has 2 items. And almost the entire enemy team does. It shows you this gold lead, this 11,000 gold lead here. I mean, it's really hard to like truly play against this. Constante's just gonna TP out, save himself. He uses his TP. Vex just TP's down bot. I mean, hey, look, they're gonna push this bot side in. I mean, Vex is instantly walking Baron. I mean, she's like, look, I was just flashing for show, I guess. And they really can't contest this Baron. I mean, they're gonna try, obviously, but I mean, they have no other choice. But we still see a little bit of a scrap happening here. I mean, Rel goes in, Kai'Sa goes in, Ezreal does come out. The Lucian is very weak, but he backs up with the flash and the culling. The Vi does get the kill onto this Morgana here, and they just continue to track them down. Vex getting the double kill onto both 80 carries. Lucian finishing off the Rel. And the only person left is Peels on this Cassante in the bot lane. I mean, they don't even need Baron. I mean, they have 20 seconds on almost every champ. I mean, Rel has 14. They're going to do it. They're pushing this wave in, making it so they have to answer this wave first before even thinking about touching this Baron. I mean, they don't have a jungle for the next 10 seconds, and everybody else is down. This Baron is definitely going over to Seneca.
Yeah, it's going over to this site. And I think for them, if they get this Nash, they just should utilize to make sure, oh, let's make the map as big as possible. And if Fiora, Fiora's just...
I mean, Fiora is just smacking. She gets out of the range. Her ghost keeps her out of that Morgana range. She does get stunned by this Cassante, him hitting Q3, but the vitals are being procced all out onto this Fiora here. She does heal a little bit, but just not enough. Cassante does get the shutdown. I mean, they're stemming the bleeding for now. But now you have 4 people on the map with Baron. Sterix Gates being finished for the Vi. Death Dance for this Fiora when she comes. Lucian having that IE. Vex with the Shadow Flame. Just huge power spikes coming out of almost every character, every player on the side of Seneca. Like, you really just can't defeat them at this point where it's like, it's going to be very hard. You have to play the fight exactly well, and you got to pick. I don't even think you win a 5-9 team fight. You need to get a pick. So Colin coming out of the Lucian, chunking this Cassante to half HP here. He doesn't have all. He already used it. I mean, they're just going to track him down. Cassante dashes right back in and right into the Lucian. The Vexo coming in onto this Rel. She has the reset here onto this Ezreal. Trying to see if he'll blink first. He goes in. The blink coming out of Ezreal here. So he doesn't get blown up right away, but the fear is there. By flashing in to finish the kill, but Vex does get the kill credit. Vex ultimate coming out. She's just throwing it at them, making them use their abilities that help them get away and play safe. But every time they dash away, she just gets an empowered auto. Fear coming in onto Morgana. She has no spell shield, and that means she is going to fall. Kai'Sa ulting to safety. She ults into Fountain, but Fiora finds her. Kai'Sa getting the trade. Fiora dying for that trade. Rel is here. The ulti coming out. Looks like this Nexus is going to fall. Game 3, a lot like Game 2. And that looks to be serious. It's going to be taken by Seneca 2-1. I mean, definitely wasn't what we were expecting. I mean, we called out the Ezreal getting picked on blue side B1 when they were given blue side. We knew that was going to happen. I'm guessing that Seneca knew that they were going to do it too. And that's why they picked the Vex. They had that. I'm betting you they had that Vex prepared, ready to go. Because, I mean, if you're going to play Ezreal, you're basically asking to, like, you're like, okay, this is their carry. This is our carry. We want Ezreal to carry our game. But Vex is like, yeah, you're going to stay in lane with me the entire time. And I get a shield. And every time you jump, I get to hurt you. I mean, like, doesn't get to have fun in that one.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a painful game for the as well for alternative. So I wouldn't really like take that too deep because also like you saw what happened top level one, right? And
Yeah.
this is something that has been throughout this series, and I'm wondering if this is something that they specifically practice or this is just something that Terraros came off like say, okay, I can like invade something because in all three games, the consistent level of the game was we make sure that Sherry is not having a good start, and once we put her like on the back foot, we're gonna invade her stuff, and then I'm gonna get an individual lead, and that individual lead is something that is it was done consistently with us. In this specific game, the days was like, hello, I'm Fiora, and I can 1v2 you level 1, and you cannot do anything. So that was really impressive to see, and this is something that I hope that this team will build on. And
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, I mean, Vi, like, look at the damage Vi did if you look at the game. Under 6,000 damage. Emilio outdamaged the Vi, but Vi was so impactful with the CC and the invades. You know, throwing them off their game. You know, I mean, like, they never had a foothold. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Cassandra get that kill, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's awesome. But it was like, once they were down like 8 kills, you're like,
He knows what's
okay,
over.
yeah, I mean, the Lucian's fed, the Aura's fed, and you're like, oh no. Like, you know what I mean? I commend them admirably for trying to fight through this. You know what I mean? Like, Kaisa had some really nice ultimates. I mean, like, they're doing what their comp was supposed to do, but unfortunately, your comp only gets to do what they want to when they're ahead. And
Yeah, and
we're
they
never
weren't.
ahead. You
Yeah.
just never went ahead. I mean, just like the 3 rosters, I mean, 3 games, you know what I mean? And like, moving the mid lane to bot and support, you know, and he instantly came in with this mid lane mentality of just I'm gonna bully you as an enchanter,
Yeah.
and he was just like, look, the other support played really good, you know what I mean, but you know it was my time to shine. So I mean, credit the support, credit the jungler though. I think the invades were monumental. I mean, and instrumental for this win. I mean, good series overall from both teams, but I mean, you know, one team learned about what happened game 1 and they changed it game 2, game 3.
Yeah.
One team not so much. So I think both teams got some things to learn, of course. I mean, it's harder to learn from a win as it is a
Yeah.
loss. So I mean, that's always good for the side of Contingent, but it's like nobody likes to lose. So hopefully both teams learned something from this, but I enjoyed myself. You know what I mean? I had fun. So isn't that count for something? Probably not in terms of wins and losses, you know what I mean? But that's it. I mean, we covered everything in the last couple games. I mean, I don't know if Gator has anything else to shout out to talk about real quick. But
No, it was definitely fun to cast alongside you. I had a blast, and these games definitely did more than delivered. And I'm very excited because after the first game, I was like, okay, are we like getting back-to-back storms? And then the second game was completely different, and now we are the third game. So that was definitely something that I was in for. And yeah, it was a blessing to cast alongside you. And yeah, that's it. My side.
likewise, you know, we'll probably see our duo again, most likely. I mean, I don't think they're gonna put us on the bench too soon. But okay, well, since the games are over, I guess our job is done. I say we did a good job. You guys let us know in the Discord, in the Twitch chat. You know, we had fun, but we look forward to seeing both of these teams, seeing what they do in the season. But come check us out. Monday, we'll be back with our Iron, Bronze, Silver, and Gold League. And the next week 3 will start then. But until then, we're signing off, guys. You guys have a good one.
Turning, staying up all night long. I've been calling, yearning, wondering what I did wrong. I could tell by your eyes you got something to hide. So open your mind up, let me inside, and let's make it right. Tell me, baby, what's the problem? 'Cause I keep trying to figure it out. Oh no, oh no. Tell me, baby, what's the problem? I'm only picking up what you're putting down. You'll be tripping, I don't know what about. So what's the problem right now? Okay, now hold up. Let me get something right off my chest. I've been meaning to read into it, time to put it to rest. Is it stress? Is it that I ain't answer your text? Don't you treat it like amnesia, you know I always forget. Stirring the pot real hot.